I lost everything. I had many friends. I had many people who believed in me. I had many people who were happy for this job that I was doing. Many people were wanting to work with me and things like that. And I had great friends, and I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then one day, when I was in Paris, on New Year's Eve, editing that video, and then, of course, the fallout afterwards, gone in a blink. People who I believe to be some of my closest friends I have not spoken to since.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day,
you win one award and it gets to your fucking head.
It's not the award; it's the TV show. To be honest with you, I don't really give a fuck about this digital shit anymore.
Bro. Mike became hot shit overnight. Welcome back to Impaulsive, the factually, statistically #1 podcast in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we won the Streamy Award for Best Podcast. This is actually not it because they took it from us immediately after they gave it to us. But yeah, we won a Streamy Award, guys.
Wow. Taking dubs into 2020.
We really are.
That's what it's about.
I'm proud of us. I'm proud of our team. Everyone who's here, and you guys don't see it. There's a whole crew behind the camera that makes this show possible. We got Brad over there working the computer, switching the angles. We got Danny working the lights, taking the notes, which, by the way, if she doesn't take, we will get canceled. Jed on the review team. Jed, we have to give a shout out to you. We forgot to thank you on stage, but Jed, thank you for making sure that we don't say anything too inappropriate. We love you, and we know you spend a lot of time. By the way, guys, he reviews every single one of these podcasts, and he's got a family and a beautiful wife too, and kids. Just really all around killing it. We love you, Jed. And then Dylan, obviously our producer, right there. Thank you, Dylan. He's the enthusiastic guy who makes sure we are prepared for all of our guests. And then I gotta thank my co-host, Spencer Taylor. Hey, Big Mike.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
thank you.
It feels really good to win something.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just play our acceptance speech. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's check it out.
Oh fuck.
What?
I don't know. Mine was just such a call to action about social reform and shit. It's too early for this shit. I just rolled out a fucking threesome, bro.
Which we'll get into that in a second, but here we go.
Yo, the last 2 years for all of us has been a crazy journey, but thank you guys for giving us a platform to just be idiots, be ourselves, and just have a blast. Thank you guys.
Yeah, that was short.
Hey everyone, feels good to actually win something. There's a lot of good podcasts out there. Everyone in our category is amazing, and to be honest, we're always surprised when you choose us. But for real, this award goes to everyone who gave Impaulsive a chance, for everyone who is tired of all the BS in the world, and for everyone who craves authenticity and realness, and we're happy to provide that. We know you guys ride or die with us, and we appreciate you, we love you, and thank you for making us statistically and factually the #1 podcast in the world.
I was gonna wait for the Oscars for this, and I hate to kill the mood, but I want this award to go to the 400,000 people, Americans, that have died in the opiate epidemic. You are not forgotten. The people struggling with mental health out there. Put one foot in front of the other. I'm living proof that it gets better.
Yes, you are, Mike. Yes, you are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, that was
I guess you did. But so we won the Streamy Award, and then we're on the sprinter on the way back, debating whether or not to go out that night. And I turned to David, our German videographer. I'm like, "What do you think, Dave?" And he goes, "Logan, you know, I have to say, this is the only win of the year. So let us get fucked up.
We should go to club. We should go to club."
I said,
that
David.
was profound.
I go, David. That is the smartest thing you've ever said.
Wow.
So we got fucked up.
Dang.
We got way fucked up.
You guys look great.
I didn't get fucked up.
You're handling yourselves
I didn't
pretty
even
well.
drink last night. I drank water.
Oh,
really?
I'm not going to give a speech of that fucking magnitude and then fucking drink.
I can't iterate how false that is.
I had a few cocktails. I was excited about the victory, bro.
We all
and by
were.
the way, we followed up fucking JoJo Siwa on that stage.
She was at the
bro.
club too?
No. You mixed up
she's a little
fucking
too
X
young.
and Y,
It's
dude.
so funny. They put us. We sat in the back row, and we were the most hyped group of people. Like JoJo went up. We're like JoJo. She's like a little sister to me. You know, I love JoJo. But yeah, we got freaking Schwasty Macy plastered, and then you ordered $200 worth of Carl's Jr.
Yeah, the card got declined for some reason. His Amex. I need
The
to,
no limit Amex.
Yeah, I need to meet with you after to rectify.
You ordered too much Carl's Jr.
Yo, we ordered so much Carl's Jr.
Why'd you guys not get Arby's?
Because it was 4 a.m, bro. And like everyone was sleeping. Andre was fucking like, please, I must wake up early for my meditation session. You guys are crushing my soul, bro. And I got twins here.
I had twins here, bro.
Twins.
Asian-
They weren't twins. They were
whatever.
sisters that looked alike.
sisters that looked alike, or so one was younger, whatever. I don't fucking know. But he ordered like 30 girls to come over. Not ordered, I wouldn't say, not like Carl's Jr. But he like
Yo,
What?
but he did like he was just texting every girl he knew that he ever met in his life, like, yo, come over. And at one point it was like, usually we have a little man door where the girls come in. It couldn't even fit all the girls, so we had to open the big car gate, dude. And they poured in like the fucking Red Sea.
No, I just
fucking girls just poured in.
I
dude.
just kept getting text. I had met a lot of people at the club, and I just kept getting texts. And when I drink, I'm like a happy drunk. So I was just like, everyone, come on over. We'll have a party.
Yep.
So we played pool. We played ping pong. We ate Carl's Jr.
Wow, that's a party. That's a party.
It's so funny how like I realize how fucked up I am in terms of that stuff, because like last night we were all partying, like hanging out, making noise. Other people are complaining. Andre's like, please, my fucking chakras, bro. You got to stop, dude. I'm becoming unaligned with Mercury retrograde. I'm like, all right, we're working on it, right? And we're loud as fuck. And then as soon as I shut it down, like for me, I go upstairs and I send a text out that's like, shut the fuck up down there. This party's fucking over. If I have to come clear house, I'm going to come down there.
It's the worst to be woken up in the like, by the way, 4 a.m. by a bunch of rowdy
Dude,
teenagers.
that's one thing I forgot.
Well, we're not
about.
teens anymore, technically, but
Tweens.
We're
it's about the same.
Are we tweens?
About the same.
Yeah, overall fun night.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, good.
And I
good
guess we
stuff.
had to sell it. Like David was like, "You must celebrate." And by the way, I had filmed 2 pilot episodes for the show that I'm not going to talk much about yet. But like for this MTV shit, we shot 2 pilots. So I was there all day. Left, got in the car. Which, by the way, dude in a suit drives. Me in the back. He's like, "Can I take your bag?" All this shit. After I leave, hair, makeup, all this stuff, whatever. We go to the fucking streamies.
Were you carrying the duffel, by the way, just to be official? Like,
Nah.
just to look like,
you have to
was it a
bring
flex?
multiple clothing options for the wardrobe people. Then they have to come
Can I
take
give
a
context?
picture.
I just want to give a little context.
Yeah, I was trying not to give too much. 'Cause
No,
we're not-
I'll get it. I don't work for MTV, and you can't fire me. So, Jake, Mike, Tana Mojo, and the Hot Felon have a
Jamie Meeks.
ridiculousness spinoff called Bustedness.
Yeah.
The set is so legit. Everything, the production is amazing. There's like 50 to 75 extras in the crowd. Like there's a live audience. And we visited Mike yesterday, and you had a little.
That shit was nerve wracking. I had the same
Oh,
for
no.
true OG Impulsive people, watchers that even outdate a lot of the people in this fucking room. Episode one. This is an important episode to talk about today. I had
and sweaty.
a meltdown, a fatality, a full-on fucking anxiety attack, and
We powered through it, didn't we?
You two
we
did.
did.
Yeah.
You two did. I'll remember it because I wrote it in my book. It's in chapter 2 of my book. And he's like, "So you're a sex doctor? How do you get into that line of work?" And I'm like,
And he ran off.
and ran off. And he goes to me. I ran off, and I hear in the background, I hear him like, "I think Mike just had a meltdown," and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, "No!" And I'm in the bathroom just sweating, like crying. And no, I wasn't crying, but I'm in the bathroom like looking in my eyes. I'm like, "Bro, why are you so sweaty? It's not even that hot out there."
Right.
And I realized, like, when I do new things, new shows, especially when I get in front of a fucking live audience of hundreds of people, bro.
The live audience still throws
Scared
me for
the
a
shit out
loop.
of me.
Even given that acceptance speech, I was like excited that we won the award, and then as soon as I got up to stage, I was like, "Oh shit, this is like a room full of people."
I wrote down.
I don't know why.
I wrote down a speech, like what I wanted to say, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like tipsy when I went on stage.
That helps. I feel like
Well,
if you're a little out of
nerves,
your
yeah.
zone,
Maybe,
yeah.
but also I memorized the script I wrote down literally word for word.
Oh, okay.
I was
That helps.
speaking and I couldn't believe I wasn't stuttering over myself or like.
So you got a
remembering-
little nervous too,
No,
but it's just okay.
I was more surprised that I said exactly what I wanted to say.
got
You
you.
know,
But yeah,
like
I
I
had-
usually would have said something that ruins my life,
Yeah.
my career.
I think on the note of your meltdown though. So wait, you melted down
Yeah,
during
I had
the show.
I had the same kind of shit. Like right when the show started and it like panned over to me, I was like, everyone's watching the light. And by the way, they turned the temperature down, and I was wearing a big Supreme jacket.
When I
it
arrived,
was so hot.
When I arrived, I'm like, yo, it is freezing in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it so cold? The producer comes up to me. He's like, that's because your friend Mike had a panic attack. And they had to turn on the temperature because he was sweating.
but it was so hot up there, and they said actually I'm not gonna say it, but they had to turn the temperature down really far, and that helped. And then I went back. I took like 2 minutes. I got cleaned up. I went back out there, and I was like, Yo, thank you, the audience, for being patient. I got a little bit of anxiety. I don't know if anybody out there feels it. And they're like, we feel it, bro. We love you.
That's cool.
All this shit. And
I
so
feel like
they
it
were
helps
super
big time if you have an audience that like is helping you out.
Well, also, bro, like if you remember during the live 100th episode of Impaulsive, we had a live audience, and they're just like our friends, and so there's no reaction.
No, they just
it was
sat-
people waiting at the DMV. The people, the live audience at his show are being paid to be there to laugh and have fun.
And don't they have,
every
like,
joke
signs?
you tell
The guy
is the
goes like
funniest
this.
joke of your life.
The guy goes like this when they have to clap.
He goes
Yeah.
like this, and you can see it in my Instagram story. He's
Yo,
like,
Dylan is that guy.
Yeah, Dylan's
like
a hype
Dylan
man.
will be that guy. Like once he moves on from like the more like crappy tier shows to real production gigs, bro.
What are you talking about?
you get
I'm
one
just kidding.
fucking MTV show.
I'm kidding.
And you big timing us,
Nah,
Mike.
nah,
I
nah.
want to remind you, you're sitting on the best podcast of 2019.
132 plus million
That's a fact.
views
Crazy.
on YouTube
Really?
alone.
You got that?
Whoa.
132
That's fucking dope.
million. And how many downloads? Yeah, true.
Yo,
we'll have to
this gets
compare
more views than your
views.
show, bro.
No. And trust me, bro. I get it. And this one actually yesterday, dude, like nothing really, as you guys know, nothing really gets me too, like when's the last time you saw me? Like, yeah, we fucking did it. Unless I finesse a threesome, which I might do that. But it's very rare that I'm like, we did it, man. Good job, boys. Yesterday was like one of those days where I was like, yo, today was a great day. We got the award for the fucking podcast. And I was like amped. I was pumped for the crew, bro.
Yeah. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard me talk about Raycon's wireless earbuds and how much we love them, and they are half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds I've used. They sound just as amazing, and if you haven't bought a pair yet, today is your lucky day. They just released their best model yet, the E25s. They have 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. I've always thought this. I don't love the way the word bass is spelled, because I'm from Ohio and where I come from, it's pronounced bass, like largemouth bass.
Yep.
I'll continue with the sponsor now.
Yeah,
Raycon's wireless earbuds are very comfortable, perfect for on-the-go listening and taking phone calls. And unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems. Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. So get 15% off of your order. Go to buyraycon.com/Logan. Buyraycon.com/Logan for 15% off of your order. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode is, I have high hopes. I think this episode is going to be incredible, you know, and I hope we can live up to that expectation because the guest is phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my very good friends and the chief editor for Maverick Media. He's edited almost every single piece of content that I've put on YouTube. He's moved from England to America to become a more intimate part of this operation. We've had many highs, we've had many lows, but it is the most interesting man I know, Hayden Hillier-Smith. Yes!
Go, dude.
Yes!
Let's go.
Damn,
baby.
I haven't seen that type of energy since Alex Jones, bro.
Bring the heat.
Wow.
Good to finally be in the seat.
Finally,
Let's go.
we've been trying to get Hayden on for a while, and it doesn't make sense because he from day one he lives here. He's friends with all of us.
Yeah.
Tough
so
to
good to have you
schedule.
here.
Oh, it's fucking great to be here finally. Yes.
Yeah, finally, bro. So, I mean, where do we begin to unpack this? What is now a 3-year relationship?
Yes.
Of probably. No, the craziest YouTube journey any creator has ever experienced.
I never even anticipated where this would go.
No idea.
Like I don't even think you know this. When I first got the job, I'd be like, all right, I'll work with this dude for like 3-4 months, and I'll tell him to fuck off by then. Yeah, and I was like, I literally, it was like, oh, well, you're just another vlogger. I didn't understand the space
Yeah.
that well. And then suddenly, like 6 months in, you had your first million subscribers, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, this is something.
Yeah.
And I've stayed with you, for 3 years now.
3 years, and it's crazy. Like Hayden is a true day one. So I guess let's start there.
Yeah.
I wanted to start daily vlogging. I was the Vine guy, and you said you'd know me a little bit from Vine.
Yeah, like I've been on Vine and I'd seen a couple of your sketches here and there, and I was like, I just knew that you existed.
Yeah,
pretty much,
yeah. So I started vlogging, and you guys know that daily vlogging is a grind. I really do think people.
I don't think people
underestimate-
really
No.
actually know. You
No.
say that.
No one will ever understand.
I'm a very happy person. The first 2 weeks of daily vlogging, where I had to edit by myself, was the most miserable time of my life. I remember on day 11, I was like, after like a night of 3 hours of sleep for the 7th day in a row, I was like, I can't keep living like this. I will run myself into the grave if I keep doing this by myself. So I went and searched for an editor. Hayden was like one of the first people that was recommended to me. And I knew I wanted someone that was based in the UK so I could upload footage to them at the end of the day. And since they're 8 hours ahead, I wake up in the morning and it's done.
I think I was present when that conversation was had. Didn't Jake tell you something about like finding content creator or editors in London? Was that how you found out or no?
No, that was my idea. I
told Jake.
I told
that's
Jake.
what it was.
I couldn't believe.
Yep.
I couldn't believe that the vloggers like Casey, Roman at the time didn't have editors. One, and then didn't have an editor who was based in a time. Time zone that was like ahead of us.
Right.
Sorry, my brain is.
I thought you were gonna say like a Land Before Time.
Nah,
or, like,
I'm a little
Crazy
over.
Shit or
Well, I
something
think that's the
like
interesting thing. Like with Casey's content, like the quality that he was producing, I don't think anyone could particularly reproduce that.
I asked him why he didn't have an editor, and that was his reasoning. He was afraid to give the control to someone else.
That's
who probably couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But you're like that with the night shift. Yeah?
I can't. Nobody else can touch it. I'll give it to people after it's like cut up and shit. But like, how long did it take like you to get Hayden on board with like your comedic like timing and shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
I'll answer that. Like it's straight away.
Right.
Instantly.
Oh, you guys just meshed.
First, bro.
Yeah.
I sent him a test edit. I sent him like an hour of footage. I remember 5 hours later, he's like, "Here you go." I looked at it. I was like, "This is fucking perfect." I FaceTime him. I go, "Who are you? Do you have a job?"
I remember what you said. It was like as if the stars had aligned. No, that wasn't it. It was because I lost my job 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
I lost my
Yeah.
job 2 weeks prior. I'm like, oh shit, I need to find a work. We just got connected through my previous job's house chef. Knew I got fired.
So weird.
Told like another company, and they were like, okay, let's give this guy to Logan because like Jeff was like helping you look for someone,
Yeah.
and it's like that's it. The stars had literally aligned.
Yeah, we got really lucky, and you had like an innate talent, and this is one of the things that I describe Hayden. When I describe Hayden, I say like you have talent. You have a talent.
Thank you.
You are a talent, and I'll say it one more time. You're talented.
Please, my ego can only get so big. Please.
It's gonna get pretty big on this podcast. But I always tell people that Hayden's my secret weapon because we'll get into like the tactical way we work together for those of you who are interested. Because like I said, that you are the thing that no one knows about. That is like vastly responsible for a lot of my success.
Thank you
for that. Hey, I thank you. But you bring a special something to the table, and I guess I just want to pick your brain about.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about this.
lifestyle.
I'd love to talk about it. It's like I don't even think you realize some of the secret sauce that I throw into your stuff, and like I'd love for you to probably have those sort of epiphanies. Like, my God, I never realized he did that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, those are my favorite moments when you surprise me.
Yeah,
because like I'll give you footage, but your special. The thing that makes you special is your ability to enhance what I'm doing because you have ideas and creative strategies of your own. Example, when we made the Flat Earth documentary, that was a very long edit. And by the way, if you haven't seen this documentary,
Fuck you.
mockumentary,
Fuck you, honestly. I've been running into people in LA and like friends of mine, Jake Paul, I think was one of them.
Yeah.
That they're like, I never even watched this shit. Fuck you, honestly. Watch the Flat Earth documentary. It's the most important piece of work we've ever done. Ever. And it's the only thing I ever think about. How do we follow up? Like I'm constantly, and me and Logan go back and forth on this shit all the time. Like, how do we do another either mockumentary or another long form piece of content that is fictional or like story driven? Because that shit was probably the most fun I've ever had in this city since I moved here, was writing that and acting in it.
Yeah, it was great.
We finessed that, man. That was such a fun production. Like the whole squad behind that.
Yeah.
Like all the circumstances.
Like it was the most fun editing I've ever had because it was building that story, especially like we didn't know how it was going to be presented. We didn't know what sort of quality production it was going to be, and so like for me it was, I need to make this the best piece of content on YouTube. And like for now, I see it, despite the fact that not many people see it, it's like the most underrated piece of content on YouTube.
I love when he says not that many people have seen it.
Well, I mean, it has 6.2 million views, which is a lot, but also like this deserves like in my
It
opinion,
deserves so many
like 20 to 30.
Minimum 20 million. You know?
And by the way, it's because it's flat Earth.
Yeah.
It has been buried.
Yeah.
YouTube is not
Yeah.
a fan of
Yeah.
conspiracies like flat Earth, bro. Anything that perpetuates like idiocracy like this, and because people thought I was a flat earther for the longest
Well,
time.
yeah, but like you played the game for at least 4 months.
Oh yeah, I said, bro. And by the way, when people were like, "Why do you think the Earth is flat?" I wanted to. It was so hard to stay in hiding until this was released. But
Yeah.
this scene in particular, this was not in the script. You sent this to me. I remember you texting me. You're like, "Logan, I think I've done something incredible." I'm like, all right, Hayden, I believe you. So this is one of, like the climax.
Yeah.
I kissed a girl. And discover that, oh my God, like she's a flat earther. I think I might be a flat earther too because I'm in love.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite sequences you've ever done.
Inside.
Yeah, that'd be good. It is pretty cold. It's been fun. Thank you.
Bro. Absolutely. I literally watched it. I was like, oh my God. A plant sprouting. Yeah. A whale. He added the sound effect. It goes, and then it zooms out to the flat earth.
It took such a not that like monumental moment and turned it into the most ridiculously over the top.
But
Like
that's exactly what it was. Like when I was editing it, when I drafted it, and I first watched the first draft, and I was like, I didn't get from a storytelling perspective that you got it. But your character didn't get it.
Right.
And so I literally sat there for like a day thinking, how can I emphasize your epiphany, basically? And then I went back onto, let's just say, like, Storytelling 101, Act 1, 2, and 3. This is the transition into Act 3, and so you need a big catalytic event to move into Act 3, and this was the opportunity for that. And so I needed to emphasize, I needed to triple, the buzzword was extra.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was, I needed to go 100%, and then go up to 300% to really bring in the idea that you suddenly got the epiphany of understanding Flat Earth.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius moment. How do you come up with those moments? How, like, because I've seen you've done this hundreds of times through our time working together, and I'm always so impressed when it's my favorite moments that I have working with you. But again, this is why I say you have talent, because you're an extremely creative person. But where do you find the idea or inspiration for that something with that much impact?
The amount of times people have asked me that question, I've replied with one sentence. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
You're gonna say that.
Yeah, it's I've been asked it so many times, and I genuinely, I guess is it a privilege of the experiences I've had and what I've studied while growing up that suddenly I have that sort of basic that sort of understanding. I genuinely cannot answer that question.
You also have incredible comedic timing. That's one of your strongest suits, and that's why we work together right off the bat. Because, like, I mean, everyone here knows this comedy. There's a extremely particular rhythm to it.
There's a rhythm.
And
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I've watched you edit obviously now for a long ass time, and like I watch you sometimes. You go 1, 2, cut, and you'll literally like beat it out in your head.
Yeah, it's exactly that. There is a rhythm. There is that sort of it's a drum beat. That's it. Well, what it is that when I was growing up, my brother was a drummer. So our house had thin walls, so I was always hearing him drumming, and for some reason that taught me rhythm. That's actually probably why. And so I think it's because of the fact that I actually kind of ended up studying music a lot because of the influence of my brother. I actually managed to pick up that rhythm a lot, and I've managed to translate that into comedy.
But where do you get that comedy bone from? Because you're like funny. You make a hell of a lot of puns, and you understand jokes. Where does that come from? Have you always been like a goofy kid?
Well, I think it's definitely been, comedy's been development on terms of, okay, like we're already going to go straight into the deep end here.
Yeah.
They say some of the saddest people are the funniest. I had a bit of a struggle growing up here and there, and I think a lot of that time has been spent because I've then had to then not want people to feel as bad as me or how I feel. I want people to not feel what it's like inside my head, and so I've then started expressing comedy in many ways. I would say genuinely, I think that's probably the gist of it on just how I've developed my comedy. I can't really pick out a specific moment, I'm afraid, of where I got comedy. It was just something I picked up, again, just naturally in time.
Can I maybe potentially give you a talking point?
Go ahead.
If you're comfortable with it.
Go ahead.
Your mother.
Yes.
In my digging of like who you are, I feel like that had a lot to do with who you became and where some of your comedy may have come from. Yes.
So it is the most saddest part of my life is watching my own mother die. It's a moment where she got unwell, her body wasn't able to handle it, and we all as a family got together, we're in the hospital and turned off the machines, and we watched her body pass. And that was when I was 7 years old, when I had zero conception of what death was.
Wow.
And it then became a massive, and what I said earlier, that became the catalyst into years, more than 10 years of just what the hell just happened. Mm-hmm. And suddenly not having a mother, despite the fact my dad is now happily married and like with the best stepmother I could ever ask for now. But during this time period, this confusion and I would say put me in this survival mode where basically I became alienated from everything. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I was going to be during this entire life. And I was made fun of at school for my mum passing. And there was this one bully. I genuinely don't remember his name, thank fucking God. 2 weeks after she passed away, we're back at school. He comes up to me and my brother. Oh, so your mum's dead now? Yeah. Well, she was a bit of a bitch though, wasn't she?
Oh my God.
And this is when we're 7 years old and my brother's like, I think 12, I suspect.
Wow.
And it's just... My brother beat the shit out of him. But that is definitely a big moment that I have to say we're still trying to figure out in my own therapy at the moment of how much did my mum passing away influence how much of a difficult childhood I got where I was in survival mode for my entire childhood growing up, where I failed to develop a lot of social skills, where it's like, have you guys noticed when you guys are all hanging about and like having a laugh, do you notice that sometimes I kind of just phase out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually really, really appreciate that you have noticed that, because I think I'm invisible some of the times. It's because in terms of a lot of societal rules, I just don't get it because I haven't really learned it, because my entire childhood I was just surviving in a way. But what's good about that is it gave me privilege of time. I spent a lot of time with myself. Majority of my time I was by myself with a computer, going onto YouTube when it first came around, going onto X, Y, and Z, whatever websites. And then what that then meant is, oh, YouTube, this looks fun. This looks like a really good place for me to express myself. And I started making videos because of that. There was a time when I wanted to be a creator in front of the camera. I really wanted to be for many years, and some like I've privated a lot of those videos now, but because they are awful. But good God, there was a time where I wanted to be the creator. I wanted to be like one of the biggest creators ever, and that's actually one of the reasons why I'm really happy with the relationship we've got. Because I don't think you know this, the dream that I had when I was growing up, I've lived through you. So that's another reason why I'm grateful for working with you, is because you, in a way, gave me an opportunity to achieve that dream that I've wanted. And the best bit is, since I kind of like being by myself, I am very much potentially the most introverted person you might ever know. And it's great because I then get the benefits of the success, but then if I don't want attention, I can go hide away. I'm afraid it's a shame that you probably don't have that.
I would say an extrovert.
Yeah.
You know, like I love people. We went to Target to get gifts the other days for some kids, and I'm literally, because I don't go out much or like in stores, but like when I do, I talk to everyone I see. I go,
God,
lady, how you doing? Lady, how you doing? Some I was like, hey, how are you? Merry Christmas. She's like, happy holidays. I was like, where are you from? She's like, South Africa. I was like, my crush lives in South Africa. That's crazy. She's like, what does she look like? I was like, brown hair. She's like, I think it's my niece. And then we got
How the fuck do you do that? Sorry.
I genuinely love people. It's part of the reason I love this podcast. Like, I love people, and I love gauging reactions.
Yeah.
Because how many people come up to you during the day, like you do this too. You go up to strangers and be like, I love you. And I love throwing people off guard in a positive way and trying to just like make them smile.
I think it's because your relationship with yourself is intact too. You know, you're like we were talking about with Peter in our last podcast. It's like you have that confidence in yourself, and you're not, you know, thinking about yourself or like, you know, trying to like trip yourself up.
Yeah.
You're completely operating in the world around you. So I think that self-love reflects with how you love other people and interact.
And that's a problem with me. I cannot comprehend that. I cannot comprehend engaging another human unless there's a genuine reason why we should have a conversation. I won't talk to you.
That's crazy. Because bro, you're like you're an amicable, friendly dude. It's not. It's like, and I like, maybe it's because I know you, but I often ask myself, what I would do if someone approached me like I approach people, right? Just like, and I usually lead with this. I'll be like, "Hey, so how you been?" And they're like, "What do you mean? We've never been since what? Whatever." And if I did that to you and I didn't know you, I can imagine you'd be like, "Oh, pretty good."
No, I'll blank.
Really?
I'd blank.
If a stranger came up to you and just,
it would be panic.
Is this part of the reason why you like editing? Because like I said, the 13 days that I was editing the vlogs by myself, it was the most miserable of my life. And I like editing and I can do it, but it is painstaking for me. And a lot of people think that.
I think what it is, and it's definitely my relationship with editing, because I have the footage, I'm not talking to anyone, I'm on my own. Like, I cannot have someone over my shoulder editing. We've done that before while I've moved here, and I think you've realized I'm sweating when you're over my shoulder editing. I'm sweating my balls off because it's like, fuck. But with editing, for me, it's like I'm on my own. I have this, and now this is my world, and I can now make it whatever I want it to be.
It's also predictable for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of people that, you know, struggle with social anxiety or any kind of like depression or anxiety, they fall in love with something that's predictable. They can guarantee the results each and every time.
Yes.
The one thing I was going to say on that social front, and, you know, like people like all three of us on the show that just walk up, I talk to every single fucking person I walk past. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I notice, even on days, and this goes to anybody out there that deals with anxiety, social anxiety, any kind of general anxiety, or for you even, if you simply go out and find a way to smile at people, I have found that smiling is the largest icebreaker in the entire world.
Truth.
You smile, they smile. Unless you run into an asshole, which you will, trust me, especially in this day and age. But the people ask me all the time, like, how do you succeed in business? How do you succeed with women, this and that? Probably my number one tactic is always smiling and always exuding positive energy when you walk into a room.
You're a big smiler.
All the time. Yeah. Not as much on the show because like I'm just like relaxing. But like
in Hawaii is a good example.
Constantly.
Mike's walking by both of us, just like, "Hey, how you doing? Enjoy your vacation?" We'd say to a lot of people, they'd walk past us and be like, "Hey, hope you're enjoying your stay here at the Four Seasons Maui. Thanks for staying with us." And they're like, "What the fuck?"
But they'll laugh. And they'll just be like, "What are you? Wait, where are you guys going? Bro, you guys are fun. We like you."
One guy was laying on his little cot, and he was reading a book that said talking to strangers. And I go up to him, I'm like, "Sorry, I'm so sorry. I see you're reading a book called Talking to Strangers, so hi." And he's like, "Whoa, wow."
The next day we come back past him and we're like, "How's the book going?" He goes, "I switched it to a different one." We like ruined his experience.
I don't want to talk to strangers anymore.
No, because I guess we weren't the only people that came up to him and pulled that same kind of prank.
Oh my God, I love that.
But yeah, have you said this? You've said this to me before, I think. Is editing to you like watching a TV show?
Yes.
Like,
I
I just don't. Hayden, all right. Picture yourself as a person looking at what you do. To give context, this man will sit locked in a cave for 10 to 18 hours a day, looking at a screen, moving his fingers around and making cuts and compiling this perfect puzzle. That is not a thing most people desire to do or find joy or pleasure in. I'm wondering, like, how you do it, how you get through it.
Well, I think what you said earlier is like, this is my TV, this is my video games, this is my thing. Editing is my entertainment. I find that it is, like I said, it is constructing that world. It's that predictability, as you said. It's that control. It's that I know exactly what it is that's happening next. And I am entertained by the decisions that I have to make. It's me and my brain having a conversation. We should do this. This doesn't work. We should do this. That works. Great. I feel dopamine hit. Go again. Find the next cut that makes works. Great. That's another dopamine hit.
It's like Inception. It's like Inception for you. You're building out a world that you have imagined. And it's actually funny because earlier, like a few minutes ago, you said that there were times in your life where you wanted to be a creator. And one of the things that separates you from other editors in the YouTube game is that you actually are a creator in your own right. You just aren't in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And so, well, that is the most powerful thing that YouTube has ever seen from an editing standpoint. When you get someone like you involved, it has also been one of the biggest detriments to the projects for this camp, because usually when you have an editor and Logan says, cut this, the editor's like, all right, it's cut, job done. Here's the new work.
And what?
V2, V10. Sometimes Logan says, cut this, and Hayden says, here's why I don't think we should cut that, mate.
Yep.
And so,
it's
I've
the
been
most polite fuck you, actually.
Oh,
That's
but
what it is.
it's gotten there.
It gets
It's gotten
progressively
there.
less polite. Like, bro, like
I have a tank of patience, and then after
there's
a while,
usually
good God.
after 3 asks, then we start going like this, and
Yeah.
we'll get into a massive fight that we had last month.
Yeah.
We'll get there, bro. There's so much to unpack here, and by the way, I'm really enjoying this podcast, and I'm really excited for everything else that we're about to say. But
I love this.
yeah,
This is great.
I'll give Hayden a note. And he'll be like, mate, I don't think it's a good idea. And here's why.
Here's why. It removes a lot of the build-up that was very important in Act 3 of this vlog. And we're just like, yo, it's a 7-minute fucking vlog. I'm just like, cut the fucking content, Hayden.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the holdup? I need this shit out so we can film the next fucking piece, Hayden. And he's like, mate, what you don't understand is there's a very romantic build-up between Logan and the mountain bikes he's buying at Target. I'm like, no, there's fucking not, Hayden.
Everything has a relationship, and sometimes you want to cut that relationship of that prompt. It's like, no, fuck you. The joke's not going to land if that's cut. It's like,
Yeah, we go back and forth on a lot of editing and storytelling techniques, because I don't know if a lot of people also realize the amount of storytelling ability that we have done and are capable of doing.
Yeah.
Like especially in our recent content with Gucci Face Jacob, the love story.
that was a really
Banger.
fun and challenging one.
Yep.
Like it was for me. That went through 3 different iterations before I figured out how to tell that story. And then, of course, I then had the epiphany of actually using Polish music from the Polish composer Chopin.
Yep.
And it just set the tone perfectly for how we wanted to represent and characterize Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to play a clip. I just wanted to pull that up. But yeah, this is a lot of our recent content. You know this. We're trying to be a little more focus on quality and not quantity.
Yeah.
What?
This piece of content in particular, I remember the subtitles for it was like writing those subtitles, and like the 3 of us like collaborating on the writing of those subtitles was one of the funniest things I've done here.
Ever.
Like literally it was so funny, like trying to come up with what we thought he was
Hey, this
saying.
is kind of sad. Of course, like I had the best time of my life.
Faster my knife.
When I touched your nipple.
I mean, he actually said
He
that.
actually said that one.
I was editing with Hayden, and I was after my workout, so I was shirtless. And he goes, "Hey Logan, thank you for everything." And he reaches over, and he goes, "I touched your nipple."
The point is,
Look how happy I am, bro.
we were having so much fun with this. And we go back and forth on one. I'll get tactical for a second. One technique. Kill your darlings.
Absolutely. You
Oh
hate
my
that.
God.
You hate this.
Oh my God. It's been heard
So many
thousands
times,
of
bro.
times.
So,
So much
like,
fucking
first of
time.
all, I will address the hypocrisy to it a lot.
Okay,
Like,
well, let's give context. So,
Yes.
so there's a technique in storytelling and content called "kill your darlings." So, the saying is the thing that you love most in your project that you've just made sometimes might have to go, no matter how much you love it. Kill your darlings.
I mean, the best example would be, and like the way this is how I was taught it. Imagine you've made like a $1 million film, and you spent quarter of that budget on one shot.
Yeah.
And then like this is great, and like at the time the feeling is great, but then when you get it in the edit and the shot doesn't work,
Yep.
it's gonna fucking hurt.
Yep.
But you're gonna have to cut it.
Yeah.
And there has been many times, many clashes we've had when like I've sent you an edit and you've gone, well, hold on, where the fuck is this scene? I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, shit, it's gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then we didn't have a discussion about it. 90% of the time, I win.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. And by the way, it's like I'm not the boss who's like, no. I surround myself with people who contribute to my creativity.
How has that sharpened you? Do you feel like when you're actually going out and creating the next wave?
Yeah.
How has that influenced you?
We've both made each other so much better, bro.
Yeah.
Go to the first vlog that he edited and go to like a recent project. It is insane.
Night and day.
Yeah, how far we've grown together, just like pushing each other to do better and better and better. Even like Kill Your Darlings, like at first, you know this, I hated that. I'm like, why would if it's great and it's awesome, leave it in.
Yep.
But recently, I especially with the Maverick documentary, I slashed everything that I loved.
It was the one time when the roles were reversed.
Yeah.
Where so originally the Maverick documentary that we released is just under 40 minutes. The original draft was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
An hour and 20 minutes of, well, really fucking fantastic content. But then, yeah, we had a very, very interesting bit where it could have turned into a fight.
A really bad fight. I think we should address it now. So
Yeah. Well, I think if we're getting into that, I need to get a whiskey first. Yeah. Shit's gonna get interesting, so I need to get tipsy.
I love this. I remember when I first started working with Hayden, we met in Paris. And he would just walk around with whiskey. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" He's like, "It's whiskey. We drink it all the time."
They did it on Jordy's show too. It's so funny. I think it's like a British thing or like a European thing.
Whiskey brings out some great moments. I don't want to spoil it. We're probably going to talk about some whiskey adventures later, huh?
If anyone else is having a drink watching this, cheers, boys. Cheers.
Pull up a drink with Hayden. But so this is a documentary that we released a week before my fight that I lost. And it's called The Maverick.
Nice job with that, by the way. You said it so like clearly, not lost by points, not lost by deductions. That was actually good.
You passed the denial stage. Now you're in grieving.
Yeah.
Nah, he's past that.
Not yet.
He's in what's called chilling. Yeah. He's in chilling stage.
This is probably the best piece of content we've ever put out. This is the most vulnerable, real, concise story we've ever made. And like you said, the first draft was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I shopped it around, and the general note was it was too long. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. You and I had to painstakingly work together to cut this down. You wanted to keep it long. I was like, yo,
are we keeping this generic top level? It was too long. We're not saying what it was too long with.
I'll give context.
Yeah.
So I was dating Chloe at the time, and she did a sit down interview, but we did not put it in out of respect for Chloe. However, the girl is a fucking wizard with words. She understands and knows me more than anyone ever. And her talking head quite literally made the film.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10.
There is literally an 8-minute sequence where she talks about you and your journey of what you've had that entire year, and then cut it with like B-roll and context to what she was talking about. And it was the hardest thing to cut that entire sequence.
Yeah.
Because it is like, now that things have calmed down, yes, I agree that it should have been cut in respecting her privacy and the fact that she's no longer related to you. It's no point pulling off that Band-Aid and hurting her. I agree with that. But it was literally a point where we got so heated because I wanted to keep this sequence because for me, it defined your journey.
Yeah.
It contextualized everything of what you had during the year of 2018.
Which would, just to give context, this film is about Tokyo, what happened there, and then the way I tried to bounce back, which was through boxing, and it goes all the way up to the draw.
The way you did bounce back, you didn't. You did bounce back.
To me, for me, the way I prioritized, and I don't even think you realize this, the boxing was the B plot.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
That was the B plot. That was the, okay, things got a little bit slow and a bit too emotional. Let's throw in a boxing montage.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Great. But then what we did is essentially cut the entire A plot. And I think it is because if we want to talk about your journey in 2018 and how you've responded to Tokyo and Japan, do we have that position to be telling that story, or does this need to be someone outside? And that's something
that is a great question that I wrestled with so much, because in many ways if it's coming out of our camp, there's a chance it would appear biased.
Yeah.
Because we are making it, we're controlling the message. But also,
it was emotional as fuck.
All we do is create. It's all we know. It's all we know. And in order to put out the best story possible, I believe we were the only right people to do it.
And I think and to that I do agree, because during that year, like, here's the thing that I don't think, again, many people realize. So you publicly got destroyed online when all of that went down. But you had the privilege of, since you're a very valuable person to a lot of people stayed with you. For me, a humble little editor like me, who hasn't really got that much value in staying friends, I lost everything. I had many friends. I had many people who believed in me. I had many people who were happy for this job that I was doing. Many people were wanting to work with me and things like that. And I had great friends, and I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then one day, when I was in Paris, on New Year's Eve, editing that video, and then, of course, the fallout afterwards, gone in a blink. People who I believe to be some of my closest friends I have not spoken to since. And other ones who were brave enough were furious. I had friends who punished me. Really traumatizingly punished, that I do not even have the confidence to talk about now. And I was on my own for the entire year. The only friend I had was my girlfriend, who even at the time, we even had ups and downs, and our relationship was over during that period as well. And then the only other friend I could confine with was my housemate, who, because of it, she fucking hated me as well, and she was stuck with me for an entire year because she can get herself out of the lease and whatever. And then I had friends who were stuck with me out of obligation, and I knew they were friends of me out of obligation because they were also friends of the housemate. And that torture of truly being on my own then led to me expressing everything in that documentary, focusing on that A plot, because I finally had that opportunity to express. And it was the most cathartic experience I've ever had in my entire life. It was incredible. I remember drafting, let's just say, the Chloe sequence, that whole 8-minute sequence where it just, everything made perfect sense. I fell on the floor crying because of, like, I finally managed to express myself. And then I think the biggest thing about it was, if I didn't have the opportunity to creatively express myself, I would not be here. So, as in contextualizing that, I wanted to be as a friend to Andy for his wedding. I wanted to be there for you for the fight. And then in my mind, there was nothing else left. My life is ruined. Everything is over. It's time to go. And I knew exactly what to do. And I planned to do it on, like, August 27th, 2 days after your fight. I was it, gone. And then literally you called me up August 27th or 28th or whatever. And it's like, hey, I want you to edit this. Because at the time I thought you were going to edit it. I thought you were going to be editing this, and it was another project that I was like, I'm not going to be able to express it because like you edited the Be Here Tomorrow video. I wasn't emotionally ready at the time, but there was definitely, I apologize, you probably never knew, there's some resentment in the fact that you edited it. But again, I wasn't emotionally ready to edit that. But it was the fact that I edited this film genuinely saved my life.
Wow.
And that's why I was so passionate in not removing the footage and the content that saved my life. And it took me a lot of heart and a lot of just courage to accept that as of now, that story is not going to be told. And the reason why I changed my mind is no one's really going to get the story that I told as much as I do. And so if I send this out, if we send that video out, people are going to be like, I didn't really get this bit, or I didn't really get that bit. I got it. And so I think it's kind of better that it's not been out now, because there was some hard cuts and there was some shots or moments where I throw you under the fucking bus in what we cut. And it was like, that was my emotional expression into that. And I think, I don't think many people would get it was a bit too pretentious, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It was pretentious, a bit too up my own arse, but I'm happy that I managed to express myself. And I can still watch it. If I feel down, if I feel confused, I can still watch it and I can still go, Hayden, you're really fucking good at what you're doing. You've still got a really fucking good future. Who gives a shit if no one's going to see this? You've done fucking great.
Yeah.
And you've got a great future. Just keep staying here.
Yeah. First off, your self-awareness is improving vastly, especially all of ours are, but like it's cool to watch this evolution that is Hayden Hillier-Smith. Because for me, you're right, I got fucking destroyed publicly, but my friends all had my back. And I almost wonder if it'd be worse if it was the opposite, which is what you experienced.
It is.
Where your friends left you and betrayed you and you had nothing.
I was completely on my own.
For me, my opportunity to redeem myself and make a comeback and I change who I was, which is the shell of where this new tree has had to start, was through boxing and continuing to make quality videos. For you, your therapeutic redemption was this documentary.
Absolutely.
So when I was asking you to make cuts, I knew how much that hurt you because this was you said this film saved your life. This is your child.
This was
dude.
my baby.
This is your baby. And I'm here like, yo, unfortunately, like Chloe, she can't be in it. Like I said that so many times. Like she just can't, and it's too long. And to get to the climax of this story, Hayden and I had the most volatile, almost violent relationship we've ever had. We've gotten in tiffs before. This was insane. I
love the fact you called it a tiff.
It was so
very
much more
British.
than that. I'll always remember the day
Sorry for interrupting, but
where it had been boiling and boiling and boiling, and you guys had been going back and forth on phone calls, emails, and it had become a daily thing that Logan would come up to me and be like, "I'm at the end of my fucking rope here, dude. I'm at the end of it, dude."
Mike is
I was ready to
the
go.
problem solver. So
He-
because I could not deal with Hayden anymore, so I'd send Mike. And
He goes, it's over. He goes, we have to fucking solve this or we have to bring somebody else in. And every day I would say, I understand his pain. I get it. Let me talk to him. And I told Logan, every time I talked to him, I said, I'm at a 3 today with him. The next 2 days later, I said I went to a 5 today with him. And I'll always remember the day I went to a 9. I was walking around in the front of the house with you. I was on the phone with you. And I said, Hayden, we have reached a point where I'm going to give you a direct order now. You need to remove the footage and I need V3 in our inbox in the next 3 hours. If you do not provide that footage, your relationship with Maverick will no longer exist.
Yep.
And the feeling of having to say that and hearing the pain in your voice when you responded to that statement, I'll always remember.
What did I say?
You said something along the lines of, you just don't understand what this means to me. And you start crying. And by the way, you don't know this, and no one in this room knows this, but I started crying like a little bit. I was able to contain it because I had to, but I'll always remember that day because I was walking out front and I said, yo, this fucking piece means everything to this kid. He has put his soul, his little soul into this piece. And here I am taking it down to a tactical, to a business level because we have to. We need to get this out. It was in a way, it was a marketing piece for the fight.
It was.
Yeah.
It was 1 week before the fight. That was the other thing. I'm in fight camp, bro. I am ready to kill people.
Your testosterone is
Bro,
on the fucking highs.
highs.
You are a fucking nightmare to work with, and your
I know,
testosterone
I
is
know.
on
The worst.
Jesus
I know.
fucking
The worst,
Christ.
bro. The worst.
Yeah.
I also I had a call with you.
Yep, I
Yeah,
remember that
because-
too.
I don't want to steal. It's your.
Yeah.
You did this, but you and I worked on this from day
one.
one.
Well, yeah. Also,
Literally
let's
day
not,
one.
let's not forget how big of a part you played.
This is your project as much as it is mine.
Well, and that's where I could relate to you, and I think
Yeah.
that's where I could I helped you kind of walk off the cliff. I was like, wait, bro, let's not forget this is still an amazing piece.
So-
what you
so-
sent to me,
so-
and I was like, let's look at it. Let's at least give it a try. And you came out of the woods and you did it.
There was even a moment when we first drafted it. Well, I had
because I was with you.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I feel like this needs to be kept. I was on your side for the majority of it.
But it was like, I even remember when we first drafted it, like back in November of last year, you had to call me up because I was like having a vote of, I lost all my confidence, and you called me up and like, I'm fucking tired of your bullshit, Mo, bro. And it was like,
I talked to you
in
about,
a
I was
nice,
like,
in a nicer way.
I helped you because I think from the moment that you and I met, like you said, there was tension between us. But I always saw
I gave you undeserved resentment and whatnot because it was like,
I never took anything personal. I saw why it was there, and I think I always saw you. Anytime you kind of slipped into that negative, like self-deprecating talk, I would just help you understand your value and who you were,
which is what's
and I
so
think that
important.
always like turned you back on to realize, oh wait, no, I'm here for a reason. This is like I'm doing this for a reason. And I think ultimately what you talk about when you say like, you know, when you were like right around the time when you decided that, I don't want to be around anymore. Like, I think that's huge for friends to find people that are in that kind of struggle and do anything you can to remind them of why they're here, why they're talented, what about them is good. That's always going to help pull somebody out of those ruts.
What sucks, and it's really hard to say, is that what you had to do was tough love.
Yeah.
What you, Mike, had to do was tough love.
Bro, I remember I sent Mike a text once. I was like, hey, man, if I kill Hayden now, is that a crime of passion?
I have the
text. Like, crime of passion, I think the max is like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I think you're all right.
But, bro, I was so upset, and it took
I was ready to fight you. I was convinced I was going to beat your ass. I was that passionate.
Well, you did that one time.
We've seen the slap.
Yes.
We've seen him slap him, and that slap represented so many...
Let's pull
kill
this
your
up.
darlings. So many fucking. I didn't want to cut.
Before this moment
facts,
too.
Facts.
Let me contextualize this. I've had 2 years of therapy, incredible progress, incredible things, incredible self-discoveries. None of it is comparison to this fucking slap.
So this is for our slap documentary. I was gonna go to Russia to enter the World Championship slapping contest, and I figured I'd get the weakest person in the room.
Oh my god!
To slap me in the face as
Fuck
practice.
you.
Well, that was
That's what I said. I was like, I think for practice, I should get the weakest person in the room. Hayden, that's obviously you. Little did I know. Every note I've ever given him was boiled up into this hand.
Big mistake.
Alright, fuck me up. Okay, alright. So, okay, this right. You.
Look at Spencer and Mike.
Look at Spencer.
I was eating food. I'm like, this is not going to be like anything serious. And I'm like, holy fuck.
Look at Logan's face right now.
He's gone, dude. He's not
Doesn't
there.
know what planet
he's
he's
not
on.
there.
That is the exact feeling I felt when I got hit with 10-ounce gloves in the fight.
Wait, really? Play a little bit more, just a little bit more.
You were gone.
Are you good?
Dude.
That hurts so bad.
I couldn't believe it.
I have been waiting for that moment for 2.5 years.
Oh my god.
I think that saved years on your life because I think that moment. Is it that moment that you really actually like questioned
It was that
going to Russia?
I think it was that plus hitting the other guy. Like those two. He's like, I felt what it was like to get hit,
That's
and
right.
I felt like what it was like to hit. And those two things combined, right? Like pushed you out of the fucking.
I'm sorry. I need to see this one more time.
oh my god,
Bro.
The fact that I get just the biggest dopamine hit every time I see that just says a lot about our relationship. That makes me happier every time I see
So
that.
if you ever wonder what it's like here at Maverick Camp, we just love each other so much.
I want to give a shout out to Mac too because Mac went behind you to catch you in case you got knocked out.
Oh my god! I didn't even notice that.
Oh, look at his hand.
Look at this. Yeah, he was ready.
Oh my God,
and
that's
he
what he
wasn't
did?
going to at first. He's like, I'm gonna trust that Hayden could do this.
Oh my god.
Did you see his Max face?
Yeah, he's just like, I'm ready for you, bro.
Mac was the only one who knew what was about to happen.
Mac knew. Mac trusted me. He knew that I was gonna beat the fucking shit out of you.
And I didn't know, bro. And then, so before the fight, when we were trying to finish this Maverick doc, we were locked in a room together for 5 hours a day, just making cuts. I remember, bro, you would be for probably like 5 days in a row, I'd find you just like sitting out back by a log.
The log.
Or like,
it was
like
always
in the
the
corner
log.
of the house with your head down. And
I'd also shout out to Andre. Andre also helped me out at one point as well when I was like at the lowest point where I was ready to quit right there and then. And Andre came and said like, hey, like, this is going to be okay. You said something like that, Logan's promising to compromise. And there was a few compromises that we did make. And like Andre also pulled me out. And this is why I'm very appreciative of being here and living here now. For an entire year, I was on my own, completely on my own emotionally. And I regret not coming here sooner because we had the opportunity for me to move here significantly sooner. And it's great that now already I'm here with friends who are ready to hold my hand and pull me out on my tough days. Because again, it's like, it's clearly established, especially with the mum passing and struggle childhood, depression is a thing that I'm never, ever going to get rid of. It's here with me forever. And
I wouldn't say that. I would say, you know, I would acknowledge the fact of how many strides you've made.
Oh my God.
And I would say this is proof that you've had family all around you since day one. And I think like when you come across those people, those friends that are there in the easy times, and then when some shit happens in your life and they leave, like, to all those people, you know, with all due respect, but fuck all of them.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Don't give them. I think it's just proof. Like I had that. I think all of us probably did, where we came to help out Logan, and I didn't realize, like, I didn't realize what that was gonna do.
My
like,
God,
I had
bro,
people, which I've never even opened up about this, but I had people for my documentary, like, say, no, I'm not going to be in it anymore.
God.
Like, still, like 2 months ago when I was on tour,
God.
I had people find out that I'm on the podcast, and they're like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, you're working with Logan.
Oh my God.
And now I'm at the point now where I'm like, this is my family.
Yeah, facts.
So like, I don't give a fuck about those people.
Yeah.
They're fake. You know, and they don't deserve to be in my film. So I think it's the same thing with you. Like, you found family, you found a place to grow, you found a place to plant yourself, right?
Yeah. I have foundation of people. That's what I call it. You guys are a foundation, and to help me and support me and to make sure I don't fall deeper. And therefore that foundation means I can continue building more levels and a higher rise of my life.
Yeah. That was a learning experience for me, having to manage the situation in managing mental. I wouldn't call it mental. I mean, I can call it mental illness. If you're comfortable with it. A mental illness or some sort of level of breakdown in the workplace. So you've got a tactical business goal that needs to be fucking hit, and you've got a close friend that's dealing with a demon that you've probably dealt with at some point in your life, and you're weighing these two things out. And I'm seeing Hayden for days at a time in the backyard, and one part of me wants to go up to him and be like, bro, I know where you're at. I've been there. Like, I know the demons that you're dealing with. Like, let me help you. And the other one is saying, I need you to get the fuck up and go edit this fucking doc before there's nothing left to edit, and then we all stop, right?
Yeah, maybe just, I don't know, man.
just please take it easy on the whiskey. I'm serious, please.
So can we talk about this? Do you want to hit? Oh my God!
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But you're
it was
right.
a lesson. It was a lesson for me to.
I'll just set it. I'm gonna have a sip.
There we go.
I'm gonna have a sip in a minute. I'm just gonna put it out.
Oh, okay. I see what you did. Cheeky little shit.
Cheeky little shit.
I learned a lot from this whole experience too, because I was telling them, so normally, like, you see how I deal with people. Like, it's pretty like I'm not good at sugarcoating anything. I'm getting a lot better.
I work with Logan, and this is stuff that we'll never probably talk about. Maybe when we do my episode at that one special time, but we work together quite a bit on making you a better leader,
communicator,
a better communicator, a better manager.
How to deliver messages in a way that people will receive them. Because yo, you know this. If something's wrong with me, tell me. Don't you look ugly right now. Yo, that was cringe. You're acting like a child. Whatever. And I'm like, bet, got it. Next. Not everyone's like that, and you're not. You're really not.
Yeah.
And so that week, it was a testament of my evolution. When I said to the boys, I said, I got to be honest, guys. I'm handling this Hayden situation. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I was proud of you too.
I am handling this Hayden situation as best as I possibly can. I didn't flip. I didn't crack the whip. And I remember a moment, just to close up this portion of it, where you talked to me. We were talking on the Love Sacks, and regarding the Maverick documentary. I was like, yo, we got to cut Chloe. And you're like, in that case, I'll need you to sign this.
Yep.
and he whipped out.
Oh, you still got it.
A laminated letter of resignation on the project. He goes, I'm not quitting Maverick Media. I'm quitting the project. And so I go, Hayden,
Can you even
do you understand? You have worked on this documentary for probably collectively 500 hours. An insane amount of time. The past year and a half of your life has been devoted to this thing. And right now, a week and a half out, you want to quit? And I go, Hayden, you know I love you, bro. This is why I love you, because you're passionate about the things you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is stupid. This is a silly move. I said this is what pride looks like. This is the tangible version of pride. It says, "Dear Logan Paul, I'm writing to notify you that I'm resigning from my position as editor for The Maverick, a documentary about the fall of Logan Paul, with Maverick Media effective immediately. I appreciate the creative opportunities I have been given during my time working on the project. I wish you and the documentary the best of success with the company's intended version. If circumstances were to change where creative vision is realigned, this resignation will become void. This is not a resignation of my employment to Logan Paul and Maverick Media, but a resignation to The Maverick, a documentary about the fall of Logan Paul. Very sincerely, Hayden Hillier-Smith."
And there's a spot for him to sign it as well at the bottom. And so
Very
and so
professional,
Logan,
by the way.
and-
Yes, very professional.
And so-
by the way, I did Google resignation letter actually.
it's a template. He laminated it. It's a template. But it goes. So this goes to Logan, and he sits on it for a couple hours or whatever, and then it comes to me, and I'm like, I'm reading it, and I remember when I got to the 8 with you that day, one of the things I said was, "You do not have the option to resign from this project. You have the option to resign from this job."
Yeah, because you're not. I hit you with that too once, because you're not a freelance editor.
Yeah.
You like
I
work
am
for the company,
employed.
so it's like I love you. Unfortunately, it's like you either quit or edit the project.
Here is the thing that made this the most unhealthy, I would say. It was the realization that if I lost this job, I would go back to the UK because you also hold the power to my visa.
Oh wow!
I forgot about that.
And that's what made this really difficult for me, because that then meant that you had the power, and that's why I did that.
Wait, is it because I sponsored you?
Yeah, you
He's like
sponsored
the
me.
Donald Trump in the situation.
I'm afraid to say, Logan. As far as I know, if I lose this job, I'm going home.
Deported.
Oh,
So it was
that's
like a-
actually horrible for you.
it was
So-
like a-
I feel so bad.
And so that
Oh my
is
God.
why. So that is why in the letter I specifically say I'm saying in Maverick Media.
Look how
but not the
clear it
print.
is. Not my employer.
is that true?
I believe
That
so.
is
Yeah.
that is
For his
ridiculous.
own-
And
For
so-
how long? For how long is he fucking forced to work here?
I'm with you for at least another 2 years. You're
But-
stuck with me for another 2 years.
But the messed up part of it is it's a trade-off and a balance of power in a way too, because while you are an employee, the thing that Logan, I'm sure, has said to you in so many words, you aren't exactly losable.
Yeah.
You're not
you
replaceable.
you're not exactly especially quickly replaceable. And so you
That's what I would say. My mentor once said that everybody's replaceable. Just some people are extremely difficult
to replace.
Yes,
I
because you
love
don't
that.
want you don't
Yeah.
want anybody to have an ego, and you got to admit I am replaceable. But some people are really fucking.
Yeah.
So,
So-
it's so true. And when you look at like the corporate world that I come from, when you find a really, really, really good employment and they throw a fit and you're like, yo, fuck this dude. This dude's fired. Pack your shit, clean your desk out. And then you think to yourself, you're like, fuck.
Like, what does he
I
do?
have to go back to HR now and start hunting. By the way, a hunt which costs a lot of money to
Yeah.
do.
And quality
Tens
loss.
and tens of thousands of dollars to find a replacement. A replacement which you then have to onboard, train, in the hope that they are half as good as the person that you got rid of.
And that is why me and Logan's clash was so hostile. It's he can't lose me, and I can't lose this job. And there is that two big prides and two things that we both firmly believe in. I think two things that we both firmly disagree in, which is why we got hostile.
Yeah.
And
it was tricky for me because here I am for not the first time, but for one of the first times in my life where I'm doing this weird balancing act where I'm trying my best to give everyone what they want and care about everyone's feelings. Gotta respect Chloe. Gotta respect you and what you want. Except there's a weird thing there that we had to figure it out.
I think actually to summarize everything, the main reason why it's conceding is not the right word, but accepting the changes is the naivety that I realized on, okay, this documentary saved my life. Great. This thing is a great creative expression for how I felt during that entire year. Great. And I am writing my entire life and everything of my future on the line for this project. And what made me concede was my own realization of, I'm going to make something better.
My fucking guy.
I'm going to make
Fucking
something
guy.
better. Yes, this is a good moment in my life, but why the fuck am I going to base my entire value on this project when I am 25 years old and I've got another 70, 80 years to make a better project?
Do you remember me saying something similar to you in that call that I talked about?
So you probably influenced it.
I said to you, this is a video, a YouTube video, not to go back to demeaning YouTube again, okay? But this is a YouTube video. You are a credit that rolls at the end of it, with this podcast aside. Do not risk all of the future projects that you have coming down the line as part of this camp, and more importantly, thereafter, cinematic, movies, television, whatever you want to do, because you have the chops for it. Do not risk that for a piece of work that I said is incredibly important to you, but forgive me for saying this, really doesn't fucking matter.
In the grand scheme of things.
In the YouTube bubble, it was important for a day, and then it was gone. Just like all other YouTube content. It was not more important than Shane's work. It was not less important than Shane. You know what I'm saying? It's here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the exception of like things like Content Cop, which are here forever.
Yeah.
Wow. Are they?
Oh wait, that got removed, right?
What? 30 million views.
Transition.
Why did that get removed?
Because it violates YouTube's community guidelines.
Oh, yeah, all of them?
It was
Or just one.
So iDubbbz Content Cop on Leafy. So he made a really...
Can I don't know anything about this. So
Okay.
it's pretty YouTube-esque conversation.
What's Content Cop?
iDubbbz is a gatekeeper on standards on YouTube. And so when there is a creator who goes below a standard of practice, he's the one who calls them out.
He'll watch every single piece of content you've ever made.
Yes.
And notice every single
Slip up.
mistake
Scaring
that
me.
you made, and he'll expose.
Oh, he's watching
the
it. He watches
fuck
your
out
shit.
of you.
He watches you. Oh, he watches you and Angel's fucking shower videos. And shit.
And my biggest criticism of iDubbbz is because what he does, okay, so like many people don't like X creator or Y creator or whatever, but then they can't figure out why. What iDubbbz does is create a script as to why you do not like that creator. And now everyone now has permission to harass that creator. Now, Leafy wasn't the best creator at all. Like, he isn't. But I was like, okay, it's not my thing. It doesn't matter. Content Cop, iDubbbz. Hey, everyone, go fucking at him. And it's like, it was bad and like fucking...
So it's creating it was like really fueling the cancel culture.
His content was a cancel catalyst.
And so they...
Yeah.
Who was that? YouTube shut them down?
Yeah, so
Which is good.
No, just removed just the one video, but it was a very big video. It was a massive video that everyone knew.
To get back on track to essentially what we were saying is like the power and notoriety of Content Cop. We've had a lot of those videos, especially the music videos, the diss tracks. Fall of Jake Paul. What are some other like 80 million or like 24 to 25 million? The video where we like faked my death in front of the fans, or where we
what about Colorblind?
Oh my god! That was the first viral video. That
was the first viral video
that shot me 2 million.
That then also attracted the attention of the what do you call them? The commentary community.
Yes, the commentary community.
H3. Oh dear lord. He's an adorable little guy, isn't he?
I remember some dude named H3 was just roasting, and I was new to YouTube. I didn't know anything. I was just a Vine kid, and so we made this colorblind video, which I've said this before. I am colorblind, but the video was incredibly embellished. I put on the glasses. I've never said this. This was like 4 years ago. I'll say it now. I put on the glasses for the first time, and by the way, was really expecting something to happen, like because I am red-green colorblind.
Yeah,
like literally, like 100%. Like he cannot fly he wouldn't be able to fly in the military. He is actually colorblind.
So,
I don't know if a lot of people out there believe it or not.
So I put on these glasses. Bro, no change.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
the sky was zero. Like maybe the sky was a little like lighter shade of blue. And I had a moment in my mind. I was like, we're at the Getty Museum. I have to fake this. So I was like, I put my acting chops to work.
The music comes in.
The music comes in.
You're a motherfucker with music,
I
bro.
made up the most melodramatic thing ever. And it's the fact that the music is what makes the meme as well. But it's like, do you not think, and like we didn't realize this at the time, do you not think that's a really interesting testament to YouTube content obligation?
Okay. Of course.
I'm about to put on these glasses.
We wanted to.
Let's show it first and then let's talk about that.
You're so... I can't even watch this.
Oh, dear. Oh dear Lord. It's the most melodramatic bullshit ever.
I can't watch it.
Logan before.
This is my favorite bit. This is my favorite bit.
Wait, what?
What? It just enhanced the sunset.
I did zero science research. I just decreased the saturation in one shot and
Bro,
increased
look
saturation.
at this.
Did you
Where's my
actually
fucking
cry?
Oscar, bro? Yeah, look.
You actually teared up?
Yes.
All right, that's pretty impressive, bro.
That was the precipice for Pete falling off the side of the flat earth right there. That was my inspiration.
Yeah.
I used the colorblind video for that.
God.
But this video got him more shit, dude. And by the way, this is another secret that not a lot of people outside of like that people that work on advertising and marketing for Maverick know. I believe this company tried to use this video as an advertisement to sell the glasses, bro. Of
course,
the colorblind.
they- yeah.
They ripped it and used it as like social
So
advertising.
then it just got out to
this part was
tons of people.
absolutely ridiculous. I remember watching this. I was like, did Hayden just like guess what? So
I pulled so much shit out of my ass during that video.
Here's an estimate of what Logan sees.
Estimate.
An estimate.
Bro, golden fucking walls.
And I turned it red. I pulled so
he
much
can't-
shit out of my ass.
He
during
can't
that.
see red or green, and the only two colors you have are red and green.
No, that's after. That's after.
That's after?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
after.
Actually, no. I did some basic research, and again, it was a similar thing. Just went to color correcting and just like pulled out the reds and turned the wall yellow. But it's like that's what I mean. How over the top it was. But that was the thing. It was. Here's something I want to talk about. I want to use this as a transition. It was, you gave me footage, make a video. It has to be done that day.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what we do, just get it out.
Yep.
And it is a really interesting testament on, this is the first moment of YouTube obligation, whereas you put the glasses on, nothing happened. But you had to make a video, and so you overact.
Yep.
For me, I get the footage. I have to make a video, and I have to make it dramatic. And so I edit it, and don't care about the truth. And that was the problem with that video.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Say again.
It was just colorblind glasses. What's the big deal? Why was
Yeah.
Well, it was what was the big deal? It was just like cringy and like
Over the top.
over the top.
Over exaggerated,
Oh my God, dude.
embellished,
This
basically
video-
absolute bullshit.
This video definitely kicked off that commentary and,
For
and
sure.
that like douche
Yeah.
lord hatred
It
that
did, yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
started to roll. over the next
That's
couple
when I
years.
realized with you, I was like, this YouTube thing is gonna be a fucking ride.
Yeah.
This
yes.
is,
that was the video that made me stay because of the views that we got. But at the time, it was an ego boost. Oh shit, we're getting this attention, and that's what made me stay.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, I reflect on it, and I'm like, this video was a bit of a mistake, I guess.
Well, that's, I mean, bro, we made a lot of mistakes, and that's what led to our downfall. And I want to
it
eventually.
taught us the wrong lessons.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Because Chrissy Teigen actually said this when she first, like, in a roundabout way, attempted to maybe, I'll use the word defend me after Tokyo. It's like, we make this stuff. It gets 25 million views. Make $50,000 off the AdSense alone, because that's back when we were on Google Preferred. And by the way, do it the next day and make another video that gets like 7 to 10 million views. In our eyes, this is working. This is good. People like this. So why would we
works.
not try to recreate and one up the piece of content before it every single day?
It was the wrong lesson.
And eventually, it led to Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's weird, perfect storm. And we fucked ourselves because we had no idea who we were as people anymore. We only knew, make a video, doesn't matter what it is, make sure it gets the most attention possible, out the next day, onto the next.
Exactly. There was, especially with the daily grind, there wasn't a moment to stop and think about what the fuck we were doing.
No.
It was get it out, move on to the next day. We don't even think about it tomorrow.
And it's crazy because like I watched like Casey Neistat do the I'm ending the vlogs. This is too much for me. I'm burning out. I'm like losing myself. I'm sacrificing the integrity of my marriage for fucking YouTube.
You watch this while you were on the come up.
Yes. And I didn't understand. I was like, what do you make videos every day, bro? How can it be like really realistically that hard? So not only did it turn out to be incredibly hard, bro, it changes you. It drastically affects your personality, the way you treat people, the way you perceive success. Dude, views do not always mean success.
Yes.
But at a time, that was the only thing that mattered. Because the more views, the more money. The more popularity, the more women, whatever I wanted equated to views. That was the only fucking thing.
The more confirmation of your ego, the more permission that you get, you give yourself more permission to go more and more and more. What I say now, coming out of it, a year later after coming out of the daily vlogging thing, is I wouldn't wish daily vlogging on my worst enemy. It is such an unhealthy mindset to ever be in. Like, that's why the hustle mentality, working every day, fuck off.
Fuck off.
It's
Fuck off, bro.
I have valued rest and contemplation and moments to yourself so valuable. I have such a good relationship with it now because I forgot about what that was because of the daily grind. I forgot who I was.
I was gonna say this to David Dobrik in person next time I saw him, but I'll just say it here just to make it public.
Make it a bread batch post.
He's done an excellent job of pulling back at the right time. He went from 3 vlogs a week to 2 vlogs a week. Yeah. Incredibly smart. Everyone, his audience obviously wants more David, but like the man needs time to reset his mental and stay David. Whoever that kid David is, not David Dobrik's. But I was gonna tell him, I feel like he will be or is coming upon that moment of creator burnout, and I was going to tell him, do not be afraid to take that month break if you need it. I think it'd be so healthy for him if he just like relaxed for a little bit, so he doesn't fall in a hole. And he won't.
But at least those 2 days a week is vastly different from your 7.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's still so hard, bro. Like he shoves so much content in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Like he films a lot. I mean, talk about kill your darlings. I can imagine the shit he goes through.
Everything he does is the right strategy, and it was a strategy that was slightly ignored on your part, which is at the end of the day, it sucks to do it, but you should always leave your fans wanting more. If you're satiating and satisfying your fans at their every demand and giving them a vlog a day, like in reality, like even with the night shift, which is one time a fucking week. It has multiple segments. They're 40 fucking minutes long, so it is tricky. But even with that, like there are times where like, yo, the biggest struggle from
Yeah, I didn't really want to acknowledge it until
sometimes you just got to get naked. Yeah, that's at the end of the day. Is that what you were gonna say? You just got to get naked.
The biggest struggle for me is concepting.
I get little pieces of lint in my armpits sometimes, like 1 or 2 little pieces of lint in my armpit hair.
Dang.
No, Mike's on a really serious point about
fuck that. Let's turn it up a notch. You ever tell anybody to suck their mom?
What the fuck does that even mean? I don't get it.
Nice.
You don't know what that means?
I don't know what that means. Suck it. Like, it's a KSI thing, I guess. It's like
no, really? Yeah. Is it just for his fandom?
I'm just not in that bubble to get that. Like, his social group is not the social group.
You and KSI have had a bit of a relationship.
Oh shit!
Whoa! Oh my god!
Wait a second. He tried to kill 2 people in this room.
I forgot about this. Okay.
Did he try to kill you?
Yes. Well, no. This was before things got hostile. So he called you out.
This is before.
This was before.
This is when things were chill.
When the butcher knife comes out before things get hostile, you always know something bad is coming.
Okay. So at the time, of course, like this is early February 2018. I'm having my own identity crisis myself. I initially interpreted his call out as a friendly call out. I was completely naive to how seriously he was going to take this. I happened to become friends with Simon, and like me and him just hanged out once or twice. And kind of just like he wanted some help with this and that. I wanted to help him out, and so I'm at the house. KSI's there. We have a friendly chat, and I say, "Hey, it'll be a bit of a laugh to make this." That's fucking dumb.
To make what?
This is funny.
Okay, it's funny.
That's a legendary photo.
He sent this to me. I was like, oh no.
I
booked the quickest flight I could to the UK, and I went and saved him.
However, I feel like I can go ice skating on his forehead though.
There's a lot going on here.
I'm done. I was gonna say I'm done completely with disses on these people completely, but it is a rare photo of him without the headband. I will say.
But like I said, this was before things escalated into. I was optimistic into things being professional, but I don't know who it was that made this personal and pretty shitty. I'm pretty sure it was KSI, but it's like
it was, bro.
It should have stayed. It should have stayed a kind of friendly.
I honestly, personally like him without the headband. I'm just gonna say it on the record.
You do, but
yo, I want to ask you, since you've been in both camps, is it possible that Logan and KSI could be friends?
Absolutely.
So you've seen a different side of KSI. Is there a different side to KSI than Logan is aware of?
I don't know him well enough. That's the only encounter I've ever had with him personally.
And he tried to murder you with a knife.
And he tried to murder me with a knife.
Okay.
And the only other time I ever encountered him was 2 days before the fight. We were both in the YouTube space in London. And again, similar thing. So I made the decision early on. You and KSI have the hostile thing. If I ever meet him, shake his hand. It's like, I got nothing to do with this.
This is before the first fight.
This was before the first fight.
And you ran into him?
We ran into him. And I went, hey, KSI, good luck to the fight. And he's with his posse, his group, his entourage. And he looks at me dead in the eye and went, go fuck yourself.
Go suck your mom.
Do you think it's possibly because you guys delivered something to his place?
Oh,
yes.
that's right.
Oh, and
we did a lot of.
I call it the hit piece now.
Yeah.
The hit piece video.
That probably screwed
when
it
we
for
called
you.
him out when we called him out on his sexism.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
It got dirty.
it got way
dirty.
dirty. Yeah, I think that's why. I think he cut deep. We cut deeper.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
It
it was
just
back
just
and
like with
forth.
Jake, when we clap back, bro, I go for the fucking throat. And by
Yeah.
the way, so do you.
Yeah.
It's like nah. Like
I
I
think-
remember
I remember-
Jake made like a mini Logan
Y'all are
diss track.
savages.
We made a Fall of Jake Paul diss track featuring Why Don't We?
Yeah.
That got 250 million views.
Yeah, and like we enabled each other. We encouraged it. We're like,
Yeah.
like you had an idea, and I went, no, let's go higher.
Let's
and
go
then
higher.
you go, no, let's go higher. It was like I remember even kind of giving you a basic script on that video on the hit piece video, like a basic idea and script. If I remember, even tooting my own horn, it was my idea to also delete No Handlebars.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It was 'cause it was-
and by the way, that was an incredibly hard decision,
Yeah,
bro.
I
Yeah.
remember
That
that,
is
too.
It's a good call.
I've,
By the way, that video cost me $250,000.
His-
$250,000 lost.
'Cause you,
Lawsuit, monetization on the video claimed.
Then you also had to pay to shoot it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
all that
yes,
stuff,
that,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God,
here's
dude.
something interesting.
I
about,
wanna
you
touch
go
on-
ahead.
I just want to touch on the.
But, let me just say real quick on that note. Through many of the downs that we've had, I've lost probably $1.5 to $2 million total because of mistakes and things that I did not do correctly.
Well, hold on a second. A lot more than that if you include one certain mistake that you didn't do. correctly.
I'm talking about money.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
like
money
that
in the
I've-
bank.
uh,
Of
money in the
course.
bank that I've
Yeah.
lost, not like projecting.
potential.
Yeah.
I have the bridge
Danny, can you give me a shirt?
for the.
This feels weird.
Yeah, I don't want us to get into another deep conversation. I'm looking at your nipples.
I know.
It's going to be a bit
I
weird.
know, my nipples are
I
weird.
have the bridge for the gap. I think for when we do decide to do this Maverick Sidemen like come to Jesus. So I was at a club the other night. I was at Warwick and I was hanging out and I started talking to some girl and she takes a picture of me and she goes, I'm going to send this to my friend and sends it to Ethan. Bazinga.
Oh,
right?
I thought you meant H3 Ethan.
No.
The one who called Mike a walking tongue.
A walking tongue. and so she sent it to him. And by the way, I had looked and like a couple of these dudes follow me on Twitter. So I followed him back. And in all honesty, like I feel like my thoughts towards them is probably like a lot of their thoughts towards me. Like I don't think they have any animosity towards me. I don't have any
yeah.
animosity towards them. And you know my biggest thing, dude, is always to try to iron shit like that out, connect with people and make money somehow, build off of it. You know what I'm saying? So she sent a picture to him and I think he sent a picture back to her of like a thumbs up or something like that. It was just like this really random like moment, but it's the closest we've gotten to like a peace or like some sort of truce.
I was even going to say, me and KSI's editor, we're mates. Well,
Yeah,
we
that's right. You
messaged
guys
each,
were
we
friends,
messaged each other on Instagram. There was a moment where it was like we both wanted to have a boxing fight on the undercard. And
I remember that. That was
and
funny.
we
That
both
was-
started. I think we both started training for it. And like there was one time when he tried to start beef, and I was like, "Nah, mate, what's the point?" And like we've just been friends since because of it. Because it's like
Because they're
it's-
not,
there
they're
was-
not mean. None of them are like mean kids either. Like they're all the kind of kids that like you would be friends with. You know what I'm saying? And I game too, and like so a lot of the shit. Like I've never had any animosity. I told him so many times. I hate always being a part of the manufactured beef that comes on the front end of the fight. It is my least. It has been my least favorite part of this position. My least favorite part of being his friend has been being a part of that bullshit manufactured marketing beef that leads into the fight. I hate it.
Do you know what my prediction is? Because I still feel like Logan and JJ can be friends. I still think it's possible. And my prediction is JJ's going to come to LA in 2 years' time. Well, like he's still going to come to LA, but like things are still going to be a bit like soft or whatever. There's going to be a moment where both of you are going to be in the same nightclub. You both had a couple drinks. You're going to lock eyes. and you're gonna walk up
make
to
out.
each other. Yes.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
They're just gonna start
I haven't
banging.
written my whole fan fiction, whole porn fan fiction. No, it's gonna be you two are gonna lock eyes, and there's gonna be a decision both of you are gonna have to make. Do we want to keep this going?
Yo, my guy.
Or are we just gonna dab
Or
this?
they
My
just
guy.
have a meeting and
My
they're like,
guy.
yo, you want to link up, get some coffee?
Logan's
guy.
gonna speak from
It's gonna be-
2019. Logan, he's gonna say something right
My
now.
guy.
It's not.
What's up?
We had the moment.
Oh,
You had the moment,
Yeah,
We had the moment.
yeah. Nice.
And then you know what he's been doing this past week, 2 weeks. He's on a press tour in New York talking shit.
Well, hold on.
You
go
fucking
ahead.
hold on.
He's got a chair on. His
Get a
pants.
diaper chair, bro. What the hell are you doing?
No, listen. We had the moment, bro.
You had the moment.
And I meant it. I'm genuinely sick of this fucking. You used the word manufactured beef.
Yeah.
Sure, it got real for a second, but I got no grudges against anyone. I want him to do amazing. In my tweet after the fight, I was like, I can't wait to see what he does next.
You even pinned it.
I pinned that fucking
pinned
tweet.
that shit.
I'm not done yet.
It's when. Sorry.
All right. And then this past week, I think the appeal, me appealing the thing,
100%.
set him off.
Well, and by the way, I get it. I get it.
And you know, it's I hate to try to like be like the righteous man here. And I'm not that guy. I'm telling you, like I'm a scumbag. But it's I hate that. I think it's a testament of character that I'm still like, yo, I want him to do the best. Yeah, I appealed, but it's nothing against him. I just don't think the 2 points should have been taken away. But he's still on a like
that's the
a
athlete
fuck
in you.
Logan Paul wave. Like, dude, get over it. It's time to move on.
It's because hating you is still monetizable. It's
No,
still.
I don't
think that's what it is. I think it's funny because I think that
like
the
did
amount of
this
shit
did this mean nothing to him? Because this meant something to me.
No, but hold on, wait. Let me say this.
feel
I
like-
think the amount of shit you talked on the front end into the fight is almost equivalent to the shit he's talking on the back end out.
Yeah.
And so like all those times when you said, "Where are your parents? Where are your brother?" on stage, and he just sat there and went like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you're sitting here like this, and he's
Yeah.
going nuts. And so he's basically kind of getting you back for all the shit you gave him on the front end. And by the way, like I said it to you as advice going forward, I would always be the person talking shit on the back fucking end. And but the difference is, and I think people, JJ, Sidemen, people who watch the fight, people who are interested in this drama need to know is, at the end of the day, this boy was trying to sell fucking tickets. A lot of it was beef, a lot of it was manufacturing, a lot of it was ego on both of their parts. But at the end of the day, they had a fight to promote, and it needed fucking promotion, and needed marketing.
Plus, JJ's like, I mean, dude, he's playing as much of the value of the fight off as he can. Like when we were outside of the fight, I think I was walking with you. A truck drove by with a billboard of his song that he was about to release.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
That was really fucking smart.
Yeah,
actually.
I forgot to bring this up.
Yes.
He was strategic
Yeah, he
with
did a
this
great
moment.
job.
He's like, you know what?
He did a
I've
great job.
got the fight. I'm gonna launch this song. I'm even gonna pay for trucks to drive around outside of the stadium promoting my song.
You know what I
Promoting
admire
it was
about
so smart.
all of that? Not only was his marketing, which by the way is why he's one of the biggest YouTube stars in the world, phenomenal with that, was the risk he took. Because if he had lost, and
those trucks would be driving by and people would be like,
well, he looked like a clown.
The
He took
hook on that
a
song was
big
good.
risk. The hook is
The
phenomenal.
hook on that song is
phenomenal.
good.
Yeah.
Yo, there was one day, and I hate to even say that because I know we weren't even supposed to talk about it, but there was one day where like me and Logan both woke up, and I looked at him, and he's like, and I'm like, fuck. I've been doing this shit all fucking morning, and he's like, stop fucking singing it, stop fucking singing it, and I'm like, you stop fucking singing it.
I was like,
Wait, am I the only one who didn't like that song?
I'm not saying it was like the banger of the century, but it had a
the
little hook
hook
to
is
it.
great.
It's
That
catchy,
dude, Jerks, Archaic.
that guy.
Whoever sings the hook, he murdered
He
it.
crushed it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
dope, bro.
It was like the first minute of the song is great, but then for me it was very one note. Nothing changed, nothing improved, nothing escalated, and it just became the same song for 4 minutes.
I'm curious to see where
boring.
JJ goes with the music, and I'm curious. Like I'm as curious
yeah.
as I am watching you.
Where do you think he's gonna go with the
I'd love
music?
for him to do a US tour.
No. I'm not saying. I think I'm not gonna. I don't make predictions like that.
He-
Let me say this. Those same kind of predictions, and I'm not comparing it, but those same kind of predictions, I'm sure were made for Arizona Zervis. I'm sure were made for millions of people. Yes, they were.
When
Yo,
I
man, it's
first
cool that
heard-
you have a. It's cool that you have a hobby We like that, but focus on what you're good at. And I'm sure a million people said that to Arizona Zervis. Then one day, one song, $10 million later, he's at the top of the fucking chart.
Bro,
I never fucking phase anybody out.
If JJ needs to improve his content, he needs to get the fuck out of his room.
I don't know if he's interested in doing that. JJ, and this is part of the reason I think so many people like him is like
that's his place.
He's a
commentator.
I believe he's an introvert. I think he's an introvert, and I think, bro, like what did he start on YouTube doing? He was playing FIFA, and he's got his tight knit group of friends. I'm not sure if he is interested in,
like, if he even wants to do that.
In like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I'm not. He strikes me as like maybe like PewDiePie doesn't leave his room, but he's also the biggest creator in the world.
I think what's taking place in LA too is way different than what's taking place in London.
Different,
like, if you look at LA, like, we're out here talking about vulnerable, real content. And I think in areas like London, it's a completely different ballgame.
How weird is that?
Completely different audience.
Do you think UK YouTube is stronger than US YouTube? They have the belief that the UK YouTube landscape or environment is stronger and more driven.
The
more
UK
engaged.
YouTube environment is not as strong as it could have been. It had great potential. It was growing to be something fantastic. But then we had an early onset of cancelling where a lot of creators had to go out and they are gone. And it broke the morale of the entire YouTube community. And we have not been able to, as far as I'm concerned, I'd love to be corrected, we've not been able to bounce back because of this mass cancellation that we had. We had a lot of creators come out to be taking advantage of their fandom.
But what about the fans, dude? Because UK fans are
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I still am struggling with these motherfucking clown emojis. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Can you cut that part? Can you mark that, please? I can't deal with it anymore, dude.
You could ban the clown emoji from your comments.
Shut up.
Yeah. You can, you can
I forgot about that. You just put it in the banned things, right?
Yeah.
Do it. I think my prediction is that the UK is a little behind.
How'd you know that?
They're behind. I think, like, when I look at, like, when you and Jake rose up, I think that was like savagery, a lot of savagery from American fans. And I think you're seeing that in London, just like a step behind. Like, LA leads the entertainment community and world.
I mean, I'd say
that's my personal opinion.
I think it's an extreme sense of patriotism. I think the UK fans love their creators because you're on an
island.
In the scope of things, it's like a small, they're kind of like, I don't like isolated, but there's definitely a world of their own. It's a bubble, just like we in LA are a bubble. We just happen to be leading the entertainment content world.
Yeah.
Are Brits more proud of their country right now than Americans?
Well, we have the election today, and it's a fucking...
That's massive.
Yeah, we have the election today. Like, as far as I'm concerned, ballots are being counted right now.
That's a massive story there.
So
right now.
the patriotism in my bubble is a fucking disaster right now. It, in terms of where I politically stand, it's a fucking disaster. Whereas people on the other side thinking this is the greatest thing ever, and that's okay for them to think that as long as they're not actually hurting anyone. But the patriotism is not as much of as big of a thing as it is here in the US. You know, it's like you don't have the UK hanging American flags outside our homes, UK flags outside our homes. It's we all kind of exist together as a community rather than as a representation of the country.
Yeah, I think you can't dog the American spirit. Like, no matter who's in office, no matter if it's somebody crazy, I think at the end of the day, people know how free we are and how fucking great it is.
I think it's the lowest right now that it's ever been in the history of the country. I would say maybe the Civil War being the one, time. But I think that we are approaching. And by the way,
the Great Depression too. That shit stank.
People use the flag and the country as a way to get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a tough time, but people rallied around the country. But I think right now there's in a way it feels like a lead up to a civil war. We're still very and I don't want to like go too crazy because I think people read too much into the media and fear tactics that the news uses and stuff. But we are kind of divided and kind of aggressive towards each other's parties right now. And I mean, I wish nothing more than we could finding a common place again as a country.
Do you want to know something interesting? The Civil War, I didn't know existed until a video game taught me about it.
Assassin's Creed
3.
Amazing game.
I didn't know. I was never taught about the Civil War.
How did you just answer that question?
Oh, he used to play video games.
Oh, you played Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I was addicted to
Yeah,
video games.
yeah.
Impressive.
Oh, that's right. But you also played. You were biggest on
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't know that the Civil War existed until Assassin's
That's
Creed
insane.
3.
Yeah, we fucked each other up, bro.
Yeah, we were never educated it, and then from then on, I was like, holy shit, this is an incredible piece of history that I was never taught. And
It's
I was
one
like,
of the
Union
most
versus Confederate.
disgusting,
yeah.
deadly, violent wars,
Yeah.
literally
Ever.
that ever took place on this planet.
I
it
thought-
was fucking a nightmare,
Bro,
dude.
For
I went
years-
to. There's a museum in.
Yep.
I think it's in Virginia or something. But there's a bullet, 2 bullets encased, because the gunfire was so heavy. The bullets hit each other and merged together as one bullet, and someone found it on the battlefield.
I've seen that
Wow.
online. I've
It
never
was-
seen it in person.
What's funny is that for years, I thought The Patriot starring Mel Gibson was a fantasy. Like a Lord of the Rings fantasy. But for the majority of my life, I thought that was like a Lord of the Rings type fantasy until Assassin's Creed went, hey, by the way, the Civil War was real. And I went, oh my God. It's like, and like I was been fascinating and investigating it like for like a brief good year after the game. But
Bruh,
good God,
bruh.
I didn't know.
Look at these bullets. During the
God.
Civil War, 2 soldiers' bullets collided in midair and fused together.
What are the odds of that?
Wait,
I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
That is insane to
Yeah.
imagine
The type
there
of-
was that much gunfire.
The type of
What is the
warfare too.
last-
It's like you
what
all
is the
just
last
get in a
sentence
line.
say?
I know this was impossible because they were unable to get the guns to fight. The Mythbusters tried it. Tried to recreate it.
Okay.
Yeah, on a different note, while you're here, Hayden, I'd like to hear from both of you. What is, and I think the fans would love this as well, what is the future of Maverick Media's content and Logan Paul vlogs?
That is an excellent question, and it's something I definitely want to like use that as a conversation with Logan. It is, we are at this incredible crossroads. The fight's over. We've had a good 2 years now to really reflect on everything that we've been sitting on since that. What is the next decision that we have to make? And is it going to be the right decision? We will find out in time. As of now, like you want to do 3 vlogs a week and 2 podcasts. That's something I want us to talk about. Like, what do we want to figure out a strategy on those vlogs? Like, for example, I thought, do we want to post Friday, Saturday, Sunday and have it be a trilogy of vlogs and like that is a good day? Or also, the thing that I'm actually most concerned about is we've made some really, really good content this year because we've had the privilege of time.
I know we can't go back. We can't go back to like subpar quality content.
Or can you? Here's my question.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same numbers, obviously, but judging from the success of the most upstart show in YouTube history, The Night Shift, and the fucking vicious audience that is created, and one of the most engaged audiences that it's created, hundreds of thousands of views on 200,000 subscribers, by the way, which subscriber count which never grows ever. Because I don't think the people that watch the show know that you can subscribe to YouTube channels because they're like 26. But like honestly, people are getting to a point where they want the real, they want the authentic. They don't. I think 2020 will, and I said this in the beginning of 2019, and I've been proving myself right all year that people are starting to fuck with the real. They don't want the makeup. They don't want the fucking crazy earrings. They don't want all the bullshit. They want to see what you're doing, what happens behind the scenes, the fights, the real fucking shit, and what your life is really like. The sweating attacks that you have when you try a show for the first time, the fact that you cheated, the fact that you did this, because that's who they are.
Right.
That's who they are.
100%.
They use it as a way to feel relatable to the person that they enjoy watching. You know what I'm saying?
Can we
So
do that can me and Logan and the team, can we do that 3 times a week? Like, or
Well, it's
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
in fact, easier.
Or-
It's 10 times easier
or-
than.
are
It
we-
will.
are
It
we
might
in the
be
re-
at first.
yeah.
But eventually, bro, we'll start manufacturing shit.
but
manufacturing scenarios that are real,
And that's-
like with reality television.
That's kind of what we did with the majority of like the Flat Earth doc and
Yes.
with Gucci Face Jacob. Like it's like I don't know, like maybe 20% plan.
You take the seed of what you're given,
Yeah.
and then you build it into something fantastic.
Yeah.
But in this case, from a reality standpoint and from an always on standpoint, you think of all these crazy concepts. What can I do? Who can I like run to as a good star for this, or what crazy thing can I do? Look at what's going on in this house. You've got one of the most controversial people in celebrity history,
Ex-controversial.
easily in
Yeah,
digital history. You've got a 34-year-old ex-drug addict who is now becoming a star in his own right and has a problem with, women and all, like, with like settling down with one woman and all that shit, right? You've got a vegan meditative Sadhguru, okay? You've got a pilgrim, a real life pilgrim,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Who is oh, and by the way, throw a fucking dwarf in for good measure. You know what I'm saying? And
When we roll up to places, like we went to Restoration Hardware, and it's this weird eclectic group of people. And by the way, I feel so bad for the ladies helping us because we make no sense, and here we are
should not be together,
bouncing off the walls like. It's an odd group, man.
And that like conflict and at times collaborative spirit and at times conflict, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking thing. And it's like last night we talked about at the beginning of the show, like that could have been filmed. Andre screaming, "Please, I must meditate at 8 a.m. You got me downstairs with fucking 4 girls, a bottle of tequila. It's 4:30 a.m. We just ordered $250 worth of Carl's Jr. You can't make this shit up. There's nothing to concept. Just turn the fucking cameras on.
So rather than telling the stories at the start of Impaulsive, this cool shit, you want that filmed, you want that documented, you want that as the vlog.
See, he said it.
You don't want to be telling the stories here. You want that as the vlog.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And by the way, there's a lot of people out there that want. Good morning, Logang. What's poppin' today? We are bringing Kong to the groomer, and I am gonna dress up like my dog. There are people that want that, but I also believe. The cooler people probably want to see this show in real life. Turn the fucking cameras on.
I said when we start vlogging, I predict a 3 to 6 month adjustment of audience as we like this show, for example. This is not my typical demographic. I had to age up.
Yeah.
And I think with the vlogs, there's going to be a little bit of that too. Like views might not be that high at first, and then we'll get to a place where we're just churning like fucking gold. And
that happens like every time. I remember when you first started kind of getting back into vlogs in 2018, and like KSI was talking shit about the views, and then it's like, and then we're back up, and then it's same with the podcast. Like recently, he's talking shit about the podcast. Like we're winning streamies out here, #1 podcast in the world.
His views in the past on his past videos that have been coming out like have been 10, 7, 12, like have been bangers. And
it takes a flow. Do you think having like another almost like a video crew where like one person is hired to just film all the time?
Here's why the answer is no.
Too much footage for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will actually refuse to go
what about
somebody
else?
else.
A cutter, and they give you the meat.
Potentially, yeah, that's actually a much better compromise.
Now
but
that job sucks.
Yes,
I was going to ask you, is that the worst part of editing?
Absolutely, it's the worst part. It's when we're doing the daily vlogging thing, it would take me like, if it was like an hour and a half of footage, it would take me 4 to 5 hours because I'm just like, I'm just not paying attention.
I'm telling you though, like when I go to, there's so many new companies now that are coming up, and I see it like with Drama at Young and Reckless. Like he's got a whole office with interns and like inventory coming in and out. I think like that would be what you'd have to probably scale into if you want to have like
for sure.
a system like that be easy.
Okay, so we talked about a lot. Also,
is there anything else?
No, there is a lot. Like
we probably need you back on. And by the way, I have the weirdest feeling that this was a really good out. For the people that.
What do you mean? It's a great episode. But I'm also not done yet. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm good on time. Okay. No rush. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Our next guest is here. That's the thing. But bro, I do not want to end here. I'm like I'm just kind of warming up.
This is so much. We can talk about so much more shit.
Yeah. So all right. So let's talk about this. So you brought whiskey on set. And you started drinking it, and then I was watching you drink it, and Mike was watching you drink it, and we both started to get slightly concerned.
Do you want to read the text I sent or no?
No, we just because Hayden, let's be honest. Alcohol has not always been your friend.
Tactically, we're not worried about your long-term like consumption. We're just saying that when you drink whiskey, you tend to call bridesmaid cunts.
Oh my god! And talk shit to ex-NFL.
You're not British. You're not allowed to say that word. If you're British, you're allowed to say that word. You're American. You're not allowed.
Do you want to dive into Andy's wedding or no? I'm definitely diving into the bachelor party. The wedding is. I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Yeah.
We can leave it on a surface level.
Okay, so,
and also we could give it context for why you were lashing out, which is what that was.
It was. Well, like we talked about it earlier. It was during that time I was ready to go. And so when it was Andy's wedding, I misbehaved really fucking badly.
So our friend Andy was getting married. And it was a month before my first fight against KSI, so I was in London. But all my friends went.
Yeah.
Chloe went, Evan went, you went, Mac and Ty, we went. Were you there?
I wasn't, no.
And what happened? You drank a little too much, and it was in the midst of all the chaos, and or what?
Never ever give me an open bar.
Well, I also heard you were like, hey, you said you had social anxiety from some people that were there.
Well, that's because I was still having a lot. It just anxiety in general. Just like the trauma of the whole year was just giving me anxiety that wouldn't fucking go away, and especially in the fact. Okay, so. And again, I've done my research on this. When you're ready to go, that's what I'm calling it. When you're ready to die, I'm calling it ready to go. There is something that happens inside of your brain that basically says, okay, consequences no longer matter. And that entire month, I was the most self-destructive I've ever been in my entire life, because at the end of the day, I'm going to go. It doesn't fucking matter.
Bruh. You remember the bachelor party, right? It is the epitome of what he's saying. All right, so this is I didn't know he was going through all this.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like, I introduced him on the show as one of the most interesting people I know. I just thought it was like Hayden being the character he is. So we went on a boys' trip to Sun Valley for Andy, our friend's bachelor party. And one of Andy's good friends was an ex-NFL player.
Like recently released from the San Francisco 49ers.
Big dude. Fucking animal. An animal, like an athlete. And we're in the car driving. I'm driving. And we had just went to a bar and we were hanging out, partying, dancing, and we're in the car and Hayden starts bickering with this NFL player, and I'm listening to it and I'm like, this is interesting. Hayden's not
a smart move.
Really in a place to be like.
What was I saying? I genuinely don't remember.
I think you said something like, "I'll fight you right now."
Yeah,
you're like, "I'll fight you right now," and he's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, he was just kind of like chuckling.
He's like, "Huh, okay," and then Hayden goes, "No, really, you don't think I'll fight you right now in this car?"
Like you pissed yourself off by like not accepting your own challenge.
Facts. And the guy's like, I mean, all right, if you want to do this, so I'm in the front seat, and
you're driving as well, yeah.
Mind you, I'm only here on this planet to have a good fucking time, so I do what any friend would do, and I pull over so my boys can fight.
Yeah.
I pull over on the side of the road. I go, "Yo, are y'all a fucking about it?
And we all
are y'all
got
about
out.
it? Be about it."
Yeah.
And we all got out of the car. Yo, I don't even make my way around the car. I hear, and I'm like, "What the fuck was that, bro?" And Hayden is scrapping with an NFL player.
Yeah. No, not necessarily
Not
scrapping.
scrapping.
It turned into scrap.
Being fucking dominated.
Yeah. It turned
it's-
into a scrap. That was.
So this dude gets out and he calls Hayden's bluff.
Oh yeah.
And he punches him in the face, and they get in a fight in Sun Valley. It's pitch black. There's no light pollution. Pitch black. Probably like 2-3 a.m. And I'm like, oh my god! My editor is getting beat up by a football player, and it's 100% his fault. 100% his fault.
Yeah.
And they shook hands after.
Oh my god!
But Hayden
Look at that dude's hand. He's so big.
Hayden was. They made up, but Hayden did not. You know,
How I didn't lose a tooth is beyond me.
This is a live photo
Wow,
too.
bro.
Can you play live photos in the?
Dang, bro.
Maybe try to open with preview.
You took it like a champ, though. You just
Yes.
got up and you
Bro,
were
like
happy.
a champ. You're like, I think you said something like that was one of the best moments of my life. Yeah. And I was the only thing I thought, I was like, this motherfucker is so British.
Yeah.
Like only a Brit would get
Yeah.
punched in the face at like a pub and be like, wow, that was the most fun I've had in years.
Great job, mate.
Great job,
Great
mate.
hit.
The thing is, I do remember having fun. Like that was it. It was because I was in such a out of character mindset that I just did things that I would never do. I am a recluse. I like to keep to myself. I'm introverted, and this is the one time when I stood out of that bubble. Yeah, it got me in trouble, and I probably would never do that type of behavior again. But at the time, it was still fun. But like I said, it was in the context of where I was in that mind.
Oh my
This
God.
was a very low moment. Despite the fact I had fun, afterwards, as I got on that plane and I started thinking about what I was doing, and I was like, who the fuck are you, Hayden?
Bro,
This was one of my
that's-
favorite
that's
things
crazy.
about you.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding, because this is the kind of shit that makes me relate to you. This is the kind of shit I would do. Maybe not at my current age, but at some point in my life, I would probably talk shit to some giant person so they would punch me in the.
You
seen
did.
me do it.
You did
It was
the
like, saw me
Shannon
do it 2
Briggs.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was saw me do it 2 weeks ago. And by the way, my face would have
hated-
looked much worse.
But that was the thing. I hated myself so much that I chose the biggest dude in the bachelor party, and I was like, fuck me up, bro.
Yeah, I don't think you were really trying to fight him. I think you were like, hey, you won't punch me right now.
Yeah.
You're going to punch me.
Well, also, is it that you hate yourself, or is maybe
But
you just
It's a self sabotage.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was,
There's
this
people
was,
that
this
like
was my,
pain.
This was my own way of self-infliction. And that's why I have a like, we can celebrate the context of it, or we can celebrate what happened.
Yeah.
No, but we can celebrate what happened. But the context of this was genuinely, I'm afraid to say, a self-infliction. This was a way for me to want to hurt myself, and that's why this was bad behavior.
Wild, absolutely wild, and that was one of the most. That's when I think that's when I realized I was like, "Yo, we're dealing with the special kid." That is Hayden Hillier-Smith. I want to talk a little bit about let's get tactical with vlogs for a sec.
Yep.
Do you remember daily vlogging? Me on this side of the pond, say I travel, running around towns attempting to find Wi-Fi fast enough to upload to you.
Yeah.
In which case, you would hopefully have Wi-Fi fast enough to download.
Yeah.
To get it posted in time. And if you didn't, you would be running around at 4 a.m. in the rain in London, sitting outside of the Google headquarters downloading footage.
That's a shame I didn't find that image. I'm sure you probably got that image saved as well. But there was genuinely time. So I had just moved with my family outside of London, where it was the shittest internet ever. And good God, we had so many problems with it. So much so I had a vlog ready, and I had to get in an Uber, $100 Uber, which I don't think he ever paid me back for. But but $100 Uber to the Google headquarters and sat outside. Yeah, you said it yourself, at 2 a.m. to get this vlog online. And that was the dedication I had. But here's the thing. I've never had this amount of dedication or passion before on anything.
So crazy.
It's really difficult for me to get passionate about something. And I've even talked about this in therapy. What the fuck happened that made me this passionate about the vlogs? Was it the confirmation that I was then living what I wanted, what I dreamt through you? Was it that? Potentially.
I think I have the answer.
What's up?
I think a tremendous amount of value and importance was placed on you. Insane, by the way. Because, bro, I asked myself, why the fuck do we do this? Why do we torture ourselves to make these vlogs? And it was because we were getting validated by millions of people every day. Who doesn't want that? What human sees the amount of views we were getting and is like, this isn't where we should stop now?
You've just got it. That was it. This was the first time in my life ever
You got responsibility.
that I had responsibility and validation. There's been many projects I've been in where it's been this XYZ and it's like only got 1,000 views, 10,000 views, or like 150 if we're lucky. This was the first time where we started getting millions, and this was the first time, where given the context of my childhood, given the context of everything, of all of the rough things that I've been through, this was the first time in my life where some sort of validation got me. And that is why I'm passionate working with you, passionate working with Maverick, passionate with what we're doing in the future, because this is genuinely the first time in my life. And I'm scared of losing it, which is another reason why. And I'm afraid to say that kind of gives you some more power, I'm afraid. I'm scared if I ever leave this job, I will never have this type of validation of my ability ever again.
That's not true. That's not.
I
I understand the fear, but
Okay.
that's not true.
Okay,
And by the way, like it's evolution, it's growth. Like eventually, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Our relationship is interesting, but like with you, for example, like you used to work here, and then it was like a very mutual, like, okay, time to spread your wings.
Yeah, but we do talk mad shit behind his back now.
No, but that's
And by the way, it's gonna happen with Andre
Andre
someday,
too,
and
same.
Mac and David, and it's just fucking life,
it's
bro.
fucked up though, because like with people like David and Mac, and even sometimes Danny, we talk shit about them now. Like they didn't even quit yet.
Yo, we're not talking shit about these people.
I'm afraid to say.
I'm kidding.
That is the anxiety that I have, I'm afraid.
Well,
It's
well,
that
also, Hayden,
confidence.
I'll be blunt and tell you now, and I think I've told you this. Like, I plan to grow and evolve with you. I would love to give you a job that you love to do every day for the rest of your life. And my job is to just keep evolving and keep you stimulated in a way where you can stay creative and hungry.
Yeah,
you know,
you give me so many challenges.
Like, you're not going to edit vlogs for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you know.
If you continue giving me things like Flat Earth and the Maverick documentary, and the Slap documentary, if we are to do that, this is my warning to you now. Then, if we're going to be doing 3 vlogs a week and it's the same shit every week, I'm gone.
Here.
Meet Hayden Hillier-Smith, everyone.
That's what I mean. If I am, this is like since you've brought up my ego, this is your fault now. If you do not continue to challenge me, I will go. This is your responsibility.
I don't blame you for that, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't want someone working for me who isn't happy and loving what they're doing. I can't. I can't have that. I have enough shit going on.
No, but even take it as fire though. Don't, like, you know, like he's basically just saying challenge him. You know what I'm saying? Like challenge yourself to challenge him.
If we as creators settle Like, that's a problem. And we should never settle ever again. We settled with daily vlogging. We really did. And that's how we led to the mistakes that we made because we settled. We, as a team, need to continue growing and need to not lose focus on growing. What is next? What's bigger? What's better? In a healthy and smart way. Look at the lessons that we get and make sure and question ourselves, because we talked about it earlier, how the views taught us the wrong lessons. We need to look at the lesson. So is this the right lesson? How can we learn about it? We need to continue to be better, continue growing, continue being one of the best creators on this platform. And we will work together for years. I promise you that.
Facts.
I would just caution.
Yep.
Like, I respect, first off, your emotions make you a great artist, but I would caution living from that space of fear. Because I think that document came as a fear versus like a passion to create. And I feel like you're able, like those times in the past, it's like 2 years ago. It's time to bury those. Like, leave those in 2019.
And that's what
right?
anxiety does. It just makes it such a hard thing to let go. The fact that when I meet new people, I talk about Japan as an icebreaker now. As in I purposely throw myself under the bus to give them power. And I trying to figure out why.
You're a sadomasochist. Do you do sado type sexual?
You're sicko, bro. You drip wax on your girlfriend.
Yeah, or no, fuck that. Vice versa. She
well,
drips wax on
your
him.
butt, bro.
Have you ever? Tell me this. Have you ever been whipped in the balls to a point where it hurt and you didn't say stop? You had a safe word, but you didn't fucking use it.
I'm so sorry. I'm a very vanilla sex person. I'm so sorry.
That makes two of us.
I really wouldn't.
That makes two of us.
I really do think, on a real note, I think that, this is perfectly acceptable, because like what you went through with your mom, like, dude, you're 7. There's like a lot of scientific research that shows like traumas that happen before the age of 7 are way harder to overcome. And I think that it's easy for me to just say, yo, hey, watch out for that. Like, it's a practice that you have to do on a daily basis. But I would encourage you to just know that you don't need to create anymore from that space of fear. You can create from that space of love. And if it ever gets to a point where there's 3 vlogs a week, you don't have to go to Logan and like say, I'm going to resign. You can just walk up to him and be like, hey, bro, not a fan of this one. Can we talk about this? And this is why. On your earlier note, I would say you've to contextualize what you said, the biggest flaw in my personality, and I know this for a fact, is that I identified myself by trauma. I identify my character, identify my personality in trauma that I've had as a reason for my personality. Did you watch our last podcast with Peter?
I'm afraid not, no.
You have to watch
Okay,
that.
I'll watch that.
I feel like watch that podcast, and that's going to give you a whole different perspective to live by.
So what it is, and like to kind of, and on that note, that's the main reason why I decided to move to America, whereas we sat on a visa opportunity for months. And I was so afraid of leaving because I became that recluse. I started hiding in my room. I said not leaving because that was all I knew. And then when I then had the epiphany of, why am I sitting in this dark room all by myself for the majority of my life? I need to get out. And so part of this whole 8-month journey that I've had by living here is trying to learn to genuinely make friends again, to genuinely become who I am destined to be, and genuinely become who I want to be, because I no longer want to identify myself as trauma. There's such a horrible character flaw that I need to so desperately break.
It's not. I hear you.
Yeah.
First off, it's not something as heavy as I think you give it weight. Dude, you're not alone. There's a shitload of people out there that are listening to this right now that are probably feeling exactly the same way. Like, you move to a new place, you go to a new school, you whatever it is.
Start an MTV show.
Yeah. And seriously, you have an anxiety attack when you start. Like,
have an anxiety attack all the time.
It's
bro.
so common.
It's common as fuck.
You don't need to identify with it. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, when it comes up, that thing is not you. You can overcome it. It's like your greatest teacher. You know, it's that perspective shift.
Yeah, it is something I'm definitely working on. Like, what you said is something that I'm working on. It is changing my relationship with fear, changing my relationship with anxiety, and changing my relationship with trauma to become the best possible person that I can be. And already I looked at myself before I left the UK, and that person I don't even recognize. I have already grown so much.
How crazy is that?
8 months ago. How quickly is that? If we did this podcast the week I moved here, I would be a fucking emotional wreck. because it was just, or I would barely say anything because I'll be the shyest person ever.
Yeah.
It is, for me, is build relationships. I'm afraid to say that's the one thing I'm struggling with the most. It is, because of last year, I've forgotten how to build relationships because I have that anxiety.
I can give you a tip. I feel
Go
like that's
ahead.
going to really help you. In a time, like any time that I've been lost and I try to be heard, I just do damage. I do damage on others. I do damage on myself.
I think that's what I did.
But if you can admit, which I think you are, you're in that space of saying, I feel lost, I'm lost, then listen.
Yeah.
Like get in the habit of listening. So don't try to be heard. And that's a very tough habit to create. But surround yourself with the people that are here, but listen.
Yeah.
Just listen. Be a fly on the wall. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they're doing. Like happier people have something to say and they have something to teach you. And I think broken people, hurt people, right? We hear that all the time. Yeah. Like hurt people try to be heard. They try to create content. They try to do things and it hurts other people.
It does.
So just listen.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're in doubt, just listen to what people are saying, man.
When in doubt, listen to people what they're saying. I'm going to have that as my ringtone, so I'm reminded of it every time.
Bro, listen.
Your ringtone is going to be listen to people when people are talking. How are you going to program it? Do you mean your wallpaper?
Well, no, but it's great because then I can listen to a text. Like listen to what they're flying. It's a reminder, I guess.
That's great advice, Spencer. Listening is incredible. Remember the trip to Big Sur? One of the epiphanies we had.
Yeah,
I had anyway. I was just like the importance of just really listening, active listening.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! It is the number one thing that makes great actors. Is because acting is just reactionary. If you're listening and you're really digesting what someone's saying, if you're a human, you'll feel something and you'll regurgitate whatever your line is.
I'm
using
about
the
to
feelings.
regurgitate right now, to be honest with you.
You're not feeling
It's just,
too good?
it's just a little tequila.
Have some whiskey. Have the last. Do you want the last?
And
bit of
also
whiskey?
knowing that we got another banger after this, and a night shift, and a fun.
Do you remember Yosemite?
Yes, that was so much fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we shoved like 8 people in the cool bus, and Hayden was one of them. And because we knew we were not going to have motherfucking Wi-Fi,
Yep.
which has been the bane of my existence in Yosemite. So we brought Hayden with us, so we wouldn't have to upload footage, and then he wouldn't because we couldn't. And so here's a picture I have of us in Yosemite editing in the back of the bus, which by the way. Okay, so
there's Andy again. Look at Andy's creepy face. Zoom in like that. That's terrifying.
We'd film during the day in Yosemite, and then Hayden at night or whenever you could, just slaving away in the corner of the bus.
Yeah,
editing.
But at that point, what I was doing was so second nature to me. I didn't have to think about it at all. I was on autopilot during that time. This was April of 2018.
Yes, yep.
I was on such a good autopilot mode that despite the fact that I was grinding, I didn't have to think about it.
Yep. And
it was a great time.
It was fascinating to me because you were working so hard, bro. Like everyone else was out doing like fun stuff, and you were editing in the school bus, and then we drive like 30 minutes to the one spot in Yosemite that had just a little bit of Wi-Fi. We'd sit there for 20 minutes while it uploaded, post it, and then go back to the fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was absolutely crazy.
That was
a wild
really
trip. We actually got kicked out of Yosemite, didn't we?
We did get kicked out.
That's because Logan's controversial was still very fresh at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So like,
And
if Logan
also,
breathed, we'll be kicked out.
It was like everybody
I'm
flocked
also-
to us. We weren't that crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not good with authority, and especially like
True.
bro, forest rangers.
Yeah, forest rangers are.
Forest rangers, bro.
Shout out to all the forest rangers out there. We love your job, and you're doing a great job for the environment.
Thank you.
Except that one lady who I think in my opinion, was a bit harsh on me. Like you're a bit harsh. She had a problem with me right from the get go.
Yeah,
I
think we left open the bear.
Someone didn't put away the fucking cooler, and she was pissed.
Yeah.
And she's like, if it happens again, I'm gonna kick you out. And then someone fucking didn't put it away again.
Yeah, it happened.
And you know what? Nah, you did your job. I get it.
Yep.
Also, something people don't know: thumbnails. You got to make the thumbnails, which, by the way, when it comes to YouTube, is the only thing that matters. Unfortunately,
it's also, I genuinely say, it's the worst part of our process. It's the bit I hate the most.
Yeah,
because for me, at the time we finished the video, it's being uploaded. I'm kind of checked out at that time.
Yeah.
I don't think you realize that. I've kind of checked out. I want to move on to the next thing, but then we spend another sometimes 3 hours on a fucking thumbnail.
I had Hayden screenshot his camera roll So just so you can get so he'll send me a draft. I'll be like, hey, like brighten my face a little bit, take me out of the background, whatever the notes are, and we'll go back and forth, for hours on different
Hours,
edits,
you say?
Challenger game edits, like little notes, tiny. I am the most.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I got a joke coming in from the audience, and she's funny.
I'm the most.
Their faces.
I'm the most specific motherfucker ever. Like I even texted Andre yesterday, like, bro, attention to detail.
I like that though. Despite the fact I hate it, I also kind of love it because it's meant we've improved consistently because we're not settling.
Yeah, this was the thumbnail for the Maverick documentary, which, by the way, didn't even end up using these for the main documentary.
We spent like 4 hours on that one.
Yep, different draft on like something as simple as my face. Like I was like, right here, I was like, hey, like my cheek is a little bulgy here. I don't know why that is.
Yeah,
because look at
it's because it's just the masking. Like I kept on cutting off part of your cheek, and then like I kept on trying to put it back. And then when I put it back, as you can see, a bit of your beard made that ring out, and then you kept on complaining about that. And I was struggling to find the middle ground.
Yeah, but it's fascinating how like the true like intricacies of what goes.
I think the average person that would look at your thumbnails would never think that.
Yeah.
They would never think that you guys
they go for like
do
8
this.
to 10 different iterations.
Well, I think that's why, like, I read a stat. It's like 74% of like, what is it, like 7 to 16 or something year olds want to be a YouTuber. It's
crazy.
It's like it's the majority of kids want to be this, and I think this podcast is really important to those types of people.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, this is what it really looks like. This is what it takes if you want to be a YouTuber. If you want to be number one in YouTube or actually have a career, like this is the type of shit. Like, are you prepared to do that?
The biggest curse with YouTube is that we make the mistake of making it look easy.
No.
I don't know.
That's not the biggest.
I think that's just professionalism.
That's professionalism. That's it's just that's the name of the game.
That's what any basketball, football player, that's what they do.
I think that's like I'm a pat Jake and I on the back for a second. I think that's the one thing that we did when because again, just like stroking my ego for a sec. Like Jake and I like fucked up YouTube, bro. Yeah. We came in, we slapped it in the face. You loved us, you hated us, whatever it was. Like we were like, fuck everyone, bing, bing, bing. Like the more things we could make explode, destroy, collapse, the better.
I think you guys set the tone.
Because
set the bar.
we started to treat it like a business. Like we hired editors with strategy, by the way, who were in the UK. We gave them notes. There was a schedule for everything. Like we treated this like we wanted to become the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
And so did you.
Yeah.
And we both have realized a lot about ourselves through the vlogs. And I think this is interesting. You had a crazy weight loss journey.
Yes.
I mean, throughout all of our journeys, you had a crazy weight loss journey, and it started because I have the clip here. You saw how you looked in a vlog. Yeah. That you were editing. That you were also in.
This is another testament on the daily vlogging thing. I stopped looking after myself because everything that mattered was work. It was McDonald's or Domino's every day. I'm pretty sure I saved McDonald's and Domino's from going from bankruptcy because I was buying them from every single day. I wasn't drinking water, I was drinking Coke. Sugar. I stopped giving a shit about myself because in my mind, it was to get the video out. And when I then visited in December, this was the video that made me realize, holy fuck, what the hell have I done? And just watch that. Well, wait, where's the ripple? There's just one ripple bit.
There's one part that it ripples.
That.
You didn't like that ripple?
That was the moment.
Right here.
It was that ripple. Watch it again. Bam. And the fact that my belly rippled in slow motion. So Greg filmed that. So fuck you, Greg, for filming that. But it's.
Greg filmed it?
Greg filmed it. Yeah, your dad filmed this bit in slow motion.
I remember that.
But it was. And especially, I'm afraid to say, I'm tooting you in horn. Next to your fucking body, Jesus Christ.
Well, bro, this isn't even like. I mean, I'll toot my fucking horn. This is like. That's not in shape to me.
That's medium Logan Paul.
And I don't think that says a lot. That to me, that says you're in amazing shape at that time for me.
Yeah.
But that was the moment that made me realize, oh God, what the hell are we doing? And that was the start of my journey. I'm afraid to say a month later than we did Japan. So I'm afraid to say the journey started a bit too late for me. But that was the moment I started reflecting. And then I then got to the gym, started working out a lot. I got a gym buddy. Started counting calories. I didn't know what calories was until I started this journey. And I lost about, I think, if I remember correctly, 30 to 40 pounds. Just pow,
Congrats,
gone.
bro.
Within 3 to
Congrats.
4 months. I'm afraid to say my discipline on working out has definitely been lost while I've been here, but that's something I want to start picking up again.
You'll get it back.
Yeah,
You got a
like-
gym out back.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that I can get it back.
You actually lived in the gym. out
Yeah, I
back,
lived in the
believe it
gym
or
for a good
not.
couple months.
You couldn't. You kind of had really no excuse whatsoever.
But here's the thing I found interesting. The fact that the gym was right next to me made me lazier. The fact that when I lived in the UK, I had to travel for 30 to an hour to get
So
to the
when
gym.
you get there, you do real work.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I actually might switch to go see Bradley Martin at Zoo Culture. Yeah, I might start working out at Zoo.
Like,
because I do the same shit. When I go to that gym out back, I'm like fucking.
'Cause easy.
Blah!
Yeah.
It's so.
You ever had that
I'm
feeling?
the exact
I've
opposite,
said
bro.
the exact same thing.
If I have to go somewhere, like I've already like lost, dude. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you got it right in the back.
I built a fortress so I don't have to leave. So why the fuck would I leave?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell that story about one time I inadvertently wingmaned you from across the pond? No, well, you got that girlfriend and all now, so it might be tricky. And by the way,
Oh no, she knows about this story and it's fine. It's like I'm allowed to talk about previous relationships
Alright,
and
alright.
whatnot. This was this has happened twice actually. Do you remember? This happened twice.
it did?
Yeah.
that was one time.
It was at one time. So this was when I first started working with you, like
Yep.
6 months in or whatever. And you first got a couple million or whatnot. And there was a time when I was editing you on the public transport on my train back to my home, and I'm editing away, and then the girl comes like next to me and says like, "Hey, is that Logan Paul?" I was like, yeah, I work for him. And we started chatting some more, and then we got a date, and then a couple more dates, and it was great. And then she dumped me because I was working for you too much.
So it's funny.
Yep.
From across the pond, I wingmanned him. I got him a girl.
Yep.
And then also cock blocked him because he was working too much.
Nice.
And it happened
The
again.
wing and cock maneuver.
Yeah.
Classic.
And again, it did happen again. We only went on one date, but again, it happened again another time when it was like you FaceTime me, and again, I'm on public transport, I'm on a train, you FaceTime me, and like actually, no, the fact she even publicly tweeted about it. I even found it. She tweeted that she's like, "Oh my god, this guy's talking to Logan Paul," but like she had like 2-3 followers, so it didn't really matter that much. But again, it was talk to her. It was a really good
You
icebreaker.
dated a girl with 2 followers?
Yeah.
That's my dream.
Two
That's my dream.
followers?
That's my dream.
Is that even
I want a girl with
possible?
2 followers.
I feel like it's harder to have 2 followers than it is to have like 200. Like,
Yeah.
how do you keep your following that
That's
small?
incredible.
Yeah,
That's-
but like I
love
said,
that.
it was So you winged me twice across the pond. That is
You know,
a stupid
impeccable.
superpower.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
it's a crazy time. All right, bro. We've been going for a while.
Have we?
Yeah, we should probably have you on again at some
Absolutely.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Part
Yep.
2.
Part
yeah.
2, absolutely. Let's do that.
All right, so I mean, I think that's it. We talked about a lot, dude. So I guess thank you for opening up. And,
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing a little bit of what it's like to live your crazy life. Hayden Hillier-Smith, where can they find you on Instagram and social media?
What?
H Hillier-Smith, no hyphen, Hillier Smith on Instagram, on social media. Yeah, I'd love for you guys to come talk to me. I love to talk about editing as much as possible, and just come
when
hang
he,
out.
When he says H, that means H.
Yes.
When he says F, that's actually a TH here.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Think,
I can't say THs. For me, it's 4. So if there was a 4 movie, the hero in Marvel, it'll be 4-4.
He's not.
I can't say my THs.
This is one of those things that's really hard to understand.
That's actually not a bad accent.
Yo,
It's the first time I ever got it right.
so look, hit that subscribe button. Impaulsive is the best podcast of 2019 based on the Streamy Awards. Award-winning podcast, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. We will see you on the next episode of Impaulsive. Take it easy.
You got any more of that whiskey?